miss anything. I keep feeling like I miss something every now and again, and I'm like, did I? I don't think I did. I've like down to a science at this point. Ah, that's what I missed. Ah, yeah, no, that's what I forgot to do. There we go.
Yep, I see it. I see the problem. There you go.
Every time I'm like, I know for a fact I am missing something.
Forgot to change the portraits.
Oh, it happened. I was just like, man, every time. Where the fuck were you guys on this picture?
We had just finished
We were
chasing the guy away.
We were terrorizing the, what's it called?
Drug camp.
Yeah. I mean, can you really say that's not what we were doing?
Yeah, that's fair. No, y'all were terrorizing the shit out of that place.
It was to freak the crap out of them so we didn't have to fight them.
Sapphire got doused, and Ania's at least touched the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She has a paper she got from the tent, and all the tents are now on fire.
Yes. All right, and
Rick,
the two main big guys fucked off as hard as possible.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Would you mind doing me a favor, Rick?
Hmm?
Can we kind of like put everybody's icons on the map where we are?
Yeah, I can do that here in a minute. Let me do my intro real quick, and then I will put you all on the map. Hello and welcome, dear spirits, to the Tables of Tartarus, a chapter of Purgatory Corner. Today, I am your storyteller, Sinspeaks, and we shall be continuing the tale of Tyrant's Wrath. Come on in, take a seat, and let your imagination run free. As always, I am joined here by many fellows, Ania, Cyril, Galmar, Dakota, and Rue, as well as Sapphire. Players K. If you guys want to see all the... Oh, wait, no, that's Players K. Players T. That's for tomorrow. If you guys want to see the different players playing and their stuffs, go check out those links right there. If you guys want to see all the different characters, Heroes T, feel free to go over to that. Just type in that. Why can I never fucking pin it? Have I made you mod story? I think you're just VIP.
I think I'm just VIP because I'm very spotty and bounce around. I'm not good mod material.
That's very fair. That's whatever. But yeah, go check out that stuff if you guys want to see their stuff. In the meantime, let me just fix up. Shut up, Twitch. I don't give a shit. In the meantime, let me fix up something real quick. Oh my god, channel. Thank you. Let me. Oh my god, no, shut up. I don't want you. I don't want to hear myself. There we go. I am totally a professional. Don't worry about it. There we go. It's pinned. So let me put down all your guys' characters real quick once I can.
Very professional. Very.
Once it's loaded, Rue and Sapphire. I'm missing someone. Ania, Cyril, Dakota, Galmar.
The dragon. Yes, the judge. I think, isn't Rue currently riding that?
Yeah, Rue's on top of you. She's over there. Sapphire and Dakota over here. Rue. Yeah, Rue's on the dragon, and they're...
The dragon. Just the dragon.
On the dragon. Okay, you guys are all placed properly. Okay, so last time...
Oh, is that the entrance? Oh, good.
Yeah, the entrance is to the south.
So okay, so I'm actually all the way, like, over here.
Yeah.
Didn't Cyril come with
you were on the bottom. The bottom tent, yeah.
Oh, okay. So I am down here.
Yes.
Okay, I'll put...
As the tent entrance, or not tent, the, what's it called? The ruins entrance is on the bottom right of the map. And that's kind of where everyone came in and started bashing shit. This is where the big tent over here is where what's-his-face came out of, Draenor. And this tent is the one that had water, question mark, the water stuffs. And then this is the one that you were interacting with the...
Cool.
Yes.
Last tent to set on fire.
Yes, last tent was on that just now lit to fucking hell. But yeah, last episode, y'all discovered y'all decided to enter the ruins in order to see whether or not you guys could kind of get in here, disrupt the drug production, but also just to see how many people were in here, kind of the big guys who were in here, a few other bits and pieces. So Sapphire and Dakota went in there with their various abilities, not only invisibility, but also just the fact that Sapphire has passed without trace and got, what, like a 34 or some shit on stealth. It was crazy rolls, very, very high. You guys came in there, found out that they were in fact making the drug production of the dust. They didn't seem to have a whole lot of other stuff going on, so this is probably just one of the bases around, probably more centered towards dust itself, if there is any other drug companies around. You guys don't know exactly. But this one is specifically designated for the dust, it seems like. You guys came in here, started looking around, found the different production areas, how they're working. You guys went to the big tent, found out that one of the guys was just being absolutely fucking chewed out by a high-class wizard named Draenor. He was a very big name inside the Star Shadow Kingdom, to a point where both Ania and Dakota knew him very well, as well as one of his assistants who Ania would recognize as essentially just one of his companions. The guy who was being absolutely fucking chewed out was basically just let go. Like, he was just like, all right, you can get back to your work now. He turned around as fast as humanly possible, tripped and slammed bodily into Dakota, making Dakota lose concentration on his spell, which made Sapphire almost get caught. Dakota and Sapphire both then Misty stepped out of the way into an area, told Cyril that all shit just went down basically, although no warning signs had been activated. There was a couple druids and a few other elven folks near the rafters, or whatever the hell they were called. And then you guys decide to make a game plan on how to get Dakota and Sapphire out. Cyril and Ania decide to go and basically not masquerade, but become living embodiments of the forest's hellfire nature of doom and destruction, more or less, to spook the ever-living bullshit out of everyone, and that is because they will shit so much a bull will be jealous. And then Gelmar and Rue decide to make a distraction where Gelmar became his big dragon form and basically made a very loud ruckus. Everyone started charging it. Ania dropped down a massive area of fog, which caused them to basically get lost, slam into each other, get disoriented. Gelmar ran right past them into the main area. They found out that Draenor had stepped out. He had used daylight, which creates a sphere of 60-foot light, which essentially just kind of overwrit the fog to a degree. The dim light of the daylight did not pass the fog though, so it was just 60 feet instead of 60 feet plus 30 feet of dim. But while he did that, Sapphire and Dakota kind of had just run into the fog blindly, trying to make sure they can get out before the daylight had reached them, and Sapphire had slammed headfirst into the previous guy who had just gotten the absolute shit ripped out of him, breaking a crap ton of dust all around them, absolutely just smothering Sapphire in dust, allowing her to see a weird Kenku just kind of sitting in the fog. Before Draenor lightning bolted this man through the chest frame and exploded the dust as well, causing Sapphire to get minor burns across her body. And then Gelmar had basically punched one of the pillars all the way to the other end of the area, stuck his head out of the fog to basically give Draenor the mythical creature deliverance of hell, at the same time as Cyril and Ania walking forward, Cyril having his skeletal body, or his skeletal face, kind of just being terrifying, and then Ania having mimicked him directly as like one of his like skeletal shadows of sorts, before then turning into a glowing dragon-esque form that still had the terrifying skeletal features on it. And then Draenor basically said, "No, I'm good. Fuck this," and teleport. just straight up fucked off. Just no if and or buts about it. He just left. He just straight up went, "I'm abandoning this shit. We're good. I'm not fighting you pieces of shit," and fucked away.
This is not in my contract.
I am not dealing with this today.
Just like Elmar said, you far overstepped your authority, child.
Yeah.
There was the line. It was, yeah, some days you have to look at what you're facing and then really just decide, what am I willing to put up with today? Not this shit. Yeah, so he fucked off, and that's where you guys are currently. Ania has went to one of the only tents that wasn't on fire, got, I believe, a very high perception roll. Looked through the tent, found that there was a paper, although the entire tent was filled with dust, so instead she went around, sliced open the tent, kind of let the dust push into the air, reached in, grabbed the paper, and then the fire that Cyril and I believe, no, it was just Cyril, right? Just Cyril was throwing, or did Ania throw some too?
I think I'm the only one that threw.
Yeah, Ania still has the bombs Cyril gave her. Cyril did throw bombs, but I think the initial fire was started by the guy using lightning bolts.
A lot of explosions. But yeah, so Cyril had thrown a thingamabob, and then on top of that, with the lightning bolt and the massive amounts of dust that is just kind of cluttering the area for the most part, which is really only hindered by the fog at this point, it just caused a chain reaction of combustion that has just lit up all three of these different tents, barely making it so Ania was able to get the paper out. There are probably, from what you guys can tell, which is really hard considering the sounds of the flame and the people screaming, probably less than 10 people in this area at this point, aside from you guys. But you're not 100% sure, considering the daylight has faded and the fog has once again just flooded the entire area.
I'm going to begin just kind of stalking towards the tent.
Which one?
The upper right, the you know.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm kind of trying to find someone. I can't get him. I can't get the icon to move, but
You should have access to it.
I have access to it, but I'm also using my iPad.
Oh, that's fair.
Oh yeah. Oops.
Yeah, you're on free movement, so that's... Yeah, you're the owner, so... Okay, so yeah, I'll move you up here.
Whatever.
There you go. Yeah, so you move up there. What are you looking for? Oops.
People.
People? Okay.
Anyone in... I'm looking for stragglers. Anyone that's still left alive.
Fair. In this area, there would be... Let's see, within 20 feet of you with blind sight, you're able to see pretty much anything, even through the fog, through the fire, everything like that. It's not hard to find people. You probably find like 2 or so. They're like running back and forth. There's one person who's just actively on fire, and they're like screaming. They're really, really easy to see.
Through the mist and fog, everybody can see all of a sudden these just at the points of all the antlers, these small pale blue flames like will-o'-the-wisps just pop into existence. And the one that's not on fire, because I'm not concerned with someone that's already dead.
Okay.
I am stalking over to them, and it is just pure, unadulterated rage at this point.
Oof.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
And standing over them, spear in hand, and the only person that understands what I'm saying is Sapphire. But I do say it loud enough for everyone to hear. Nin kijin bitawan niwaki kijikwen gishi ikwe. And I'm going to give Sapphire a half a second to react to that.
Okay. Do you say anything in response, Zephyr?
I'm sorry, a lot of people are talking to me.
You're fine.
Were you guys talking to me?
Yeah.
I said something in Primordial, and I messaged you the translation.
Okay.
I just
But
imagine
it's not
Gilmore
to
just-
Sapphire. It's like near Sapphire. Cyril's saying it to someone else.
Mhm.
One of
Just
the
imagine-
stragglers.
Okay.
I just imagine Gilmar assumes it's some sort of incantation or something. In fact, he just thinks it's part of the spell Cyril's casting.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it would be, but I don't think it's actually part of the actual spell. It's just something he added on, I think. I'm trying to figure out exactly how I'm like feeling and
Mhm.
in this situation. I know you said last week that I wasn't really affected by the drugs.
Yeah.
Okay.
You are, for the most part, at least from what you can tell, you are not any more hallucinatory than you generally are. You still got, the voices in your head. You're still like the Kenku is a little bit more prevalent than he was previously before the thing. But aside from that, mostly it's just the explosion that like took you off kilter for a second. But you're more or less fine.
Okay. So I'm probably more so confused when I'm seeing the Kenku.
Mhm. Yeah, you see Cyril like just stalking over to this dude who probably is like walking backwards, like tripping over as you see him, and you just hear like Cyril saying whatever this is in Primordial.
Okay. Is anyone else nearby besides? Wait, Dakota's still near me, right?
Yeah, Dakota's right next to you. Ania went to a tent which is now on fire to your left. And then both Gamar and Ryu are to your right, a decent distance.
Oh, what should I do? What should I do? I want to alert people, but I don't know who's going to be able to stop him.
I mean, you have a guy with
say
a
it out
gun.
It's up to Sapphire, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I want to alert people, but like I want to alert the right person who's going to be able to stop him.
Shoots
Yeah,
Cyril in the leg.
The spear is absolutely in the air and coming down on this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Nia's
he's listening
like
to
not
somebody.
even visible.
He's listened to somebody. Would she's gotten angry at him, huh?
Mhm.
Maybe I can shoot the spear out of the sky.
That would be pretty sick.
That would be really cool and a really, really fucking hard shot.
Yeah.
Especially with the
Good.
fog.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you can only vaguely see Cyril at the moment because his blue flames are I'm assuming they're like specialized because they're will o' the wisp, so they're a little bit more obvious than most other lights would be, but still really really fucking hard to see in this fog. So you're kind of like getting a dim outline of him as his voice echoes through the area. So do you say anything or?
I'm debating on whether to talk to him directly or tell Dakota to shoot them.
You could, yeah.
I think what I'm going to do is try to talk to Cyril myself first.
Okay.
And Primordial.
Ooh.
All right. So yeah, Cyril, you raise up your spear with the full intent of murder here, and then you hear in your head, Sapphire.
Or is
do
Sapphire
this.
talking out loud?
Yeah, I'll
sorry.
talk out loud
Oh, okay.
because I don't care. I mean, nobody's going to know what I'm saying, but oh well.
That's her.
What do I want to say? Don't do this. They just worked for whoever wanted to produce all this. They don't need to die over it. And I think that's it.
Yeah. With the with how Primordial is, just the way the language is, the deep rumbling vocalizations of it pierce through the area very much so. And so yeah, Cyril, you hear this behind you as like you have your spear up. You hear it in perfect clarity.
I bring the spear down first and skewer this
Ooh.
Oh,
this
you
poor
should've-
scared sap.
You should have alerted Dakota. I could have shot that spear out of his hand. It would have been so cool.
Nat
And-
20 accidentally snipes off one of his horns.
You can see you can see where his head is turning because of the orientation of these will-o'-the-wisps.
Mm-hmm.
And he turns towards Sapphire. Nimisham ondiek. And I am stalking through the fog,
Did we hear?
seeking
Did I
out
hear?
another person.
Did I hear the sound of the bloodshed and the guy screaming?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, no, the
I'm
sound
running.
the sound of him stabbing into the person is not a quiet one. Even
I'm
with the
running over
flames
there.
and stuff.
I'm
Okay.
running over to where the guy got stabbed, and I'm doing
Oh, it was
Spare
a
the
full
dying.
smite.
Oh god.
I'm trying to do what I can, spare the dying and bring him back.
Fair. So you run over to him, and with a full smite put into it. So essentially, as you run over to him and you kind of like you pretty much immediately like spare the dying on him.
No, please stay with me.
you run over, you like kneel down to get like a closer look because you know the fog is pretty heavy. But as you like kneel down, you look at him. He is, I would say, barely breathing, and like it is purely because of spare the dying. He is impaled, or at least was impaled. There is fungi just spreading all across his body at this point.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, through his insides and over his skin. It's all the way through him. Is torturous, you would say, the fact that he's still breathing.
I have my hands on him, casting the guiding, and I'll call out, Gilmar, Anya, I need help.
The head just snaps in her direction and starts moving towards the tent as well.
Oh.
Of course, head still low, trying to make it look like he's trying to hunt her now instead.
Cool.
I
Knowing
have
that
this
Anya has
vision
talked
of
to
a
her before.
massive dragon's head
Yeah.
just snaking around the corner.
Knowing that Anya has talked to him before, I'll say, Anya, like when I was shouting before, Anya, it's Cyril.
It's Cyril.
From this distance and with the roaring flames all around you, you are not
have a
quite
sending
within
stone?
range to talk to her via.
Do I have my
you
sending
could use your
stone, or did he
sending
take
stone
it?
if you'd like to. Yes.
Did Cyril before take the sending stone and hadn't given it back, or I'm
No,
not sure.
she still has the message thing, and you'd be able to talk to her with that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
then I'll message that to. Well, I'll call it first, and then after I think about it, I will use the sending because she's jittery and anxious.
So
Mhm.
you would hear that,
Anya.
yeah.
Okay. Ania's like making her way around this tent, but I assume it's gonna take her a while because it is on fire.
Mm-hmm. It'll take a couple of minutes, yeah.
Yeah, she's making her way around, and she'll send a message back saying, "I'm keeping the fog up. That's the most I can do right now. I can't even see him where I'm at."
Oh.
Yeah. I would say, Cyril, you're having a very hard time finding more people. Like they are running like fucking a pack of scared dogs at this point. You hear someone like slamming into walls, and by the time you get over to them, they're gone. You do see like a couple who have like bodies that are inside of the tent's fires and stuff. Clearly they didn't make it out. And stuff like that, but you're not finding a whole lot of like active stragglers.
Oh yeah, after a while, I start getting frustrated enough. I absolutely at least once or twice I am using that spectral slash skill to catch up to them when they ping in my field of vision before they can get away.
Okay. So I'd probably say you get like probably another 2 in this time. The screams of people have very quickly gone down at this point. There's you guys don't really hear much people at this point, but the fires are raging around you, and there's so much flora that's around here that it's very quickly starting to just light up. Pretty much almost the entirety of these ruins is just engulfed in flames at this point. And since you're in the middle of a forest, it probably is going to start spreading here too. But smoke is starting to fill a lot of the area. Ania, you probably would get to... Can I move this backward? No? Okay, hold on. There we go. You'd probably get over to where Dakota and Sapphire are fairly quickly, since there's not a whole lot of fire around that spot specifically. Cyril's just kind of hunting around the area, but for the most part, he's not finding anything. But you're hearing, he's not quiet. You're hearing him
And
like
he has the
stomping around.
Oh yeah, it is definitely like shouts of rage when he's missing them.
Yeah.
How many feet is Cyril from Ania?
I would say probably this would be good. So 40 to 60.
Okay, Ania has an option here, and I am considering it. I don't think she's gonna take it. It would have been really funny though.
I think Dakota is just like really confused as he looks to Ania as she's passing. She's like, "Miss, is this part of the plan?"
Ania's gonna run by them. She is heading towards Cyril, and she'll respond as she's running by. It's like, "It's part of Cyril's plan."
Is Cyril's plan our plan? This doesn't look like just the typical get us out of here, man.
Oh, we've already completed that plan. This part of the plan Cyril's had from the beginning since he heard there was a drug camp here.
He's just very confused.
But Ania's just running towards Cyril, but not quite. She's running if she can spot, because she's farther than Cyril right now. She's trying to judge where he's going and is going to there.
Smart. Based on the will-o-wisp, based on his movements and just his general running, especially him trying to find people so he can teleport to them, you would know roughly where he's going just by general pathfinding. So you would be able to get to where he is going. There is a lot of
Okay.
fire around, so he does have to navigate around that as well, which is very useful for you.
Mhm.
What is he
I
for
do a
me
s-
again?
What's that, Sever?
I'm thinking about Misty step into the same spot to help Ania.
Ooh, smart. You are
If I
tied to
can, I mean.
Dakota, though.
I forgot.
Well, I will untie myself and then do that. But like, I
Okay.
want to make sure I can Misty step before I decide to Misty step.
You would be able
No,
to.
yeah,
Yes.
Misty Step. You just vanish from your bonds.
Yeah.
You don't even need to untie.
But yeah, you would be able to teleport pretty much directly in front of him if you decide to.
Yeah, I'm gonna help Ania try and stop him.
All right. You teleport pretty much directly in front of Cyril, which I assume Cyril, like, it gives you a moment, like, you like, slow down as she, like, bambooshes in front of you.
When you appear in front of me, and I look down and I see you there, you can see it's not just the points at the antlers, it's the veins in his arms, it's his eyes glowing as well. He's just basically allowed something to take over. And he just looks down at you and screams, Ninsewina!
Oh boy.
Ania's looking for Cyril's next target
Mm-hmm.
rather than looking to Cyril and Sapphire.
Smart.
Rue is going behind and trying to spare the dying, everybody. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Gone
you're
through.
fine. I would say, so Rue, you're able to move around and spare the dying on a few of them. There are some that are just not in a state that can be saved at that point. But you managed to save about 3 of the 4 that Cyril kills. Albeit save is a difficult statement considering his smites, but they are still breathing, just in a not good state. And then Nia, as Sapphire like stops him, and he just like pretty much says whatever he's saying to her. You kind of run past the 2 of them. There are a lot of flames, but you're able to like navigate through a bunch of them. You've dealt with wildfires before. They don't happen very regularly, but they are something that druids are expected to deal with every now and again, and to watch to make sure that they don't overspread or other stuff like that as a natural phenomenon. But as something that isn't natural, it can end badly. So you are kind of prepared for it to a degree. So you're able to navigate decently well. There is one person that you find. Everyone else seems to have royally fucked off. But there is one person that you find. They are surrounded by flame. Probably why they haven't moved very much. They have a bunch of vials next to them, closed vials of the dust, and they're just like kind of like looking around. They really can't go anywhere. They're just absolutely surrounded. And with the dust in their hands, one wrong move and they will light up like a torch.
I would like to water a sphere and pick them up.
All right, cool.
So let me grab watery sphere here. It has a long explanation. Do you want me to just skim over it, read it?
Yeah, just
post it?
summarize it. You can post it. So if you click the name at the bottom is standard role and info. If you click info, it will post to the chat.
Okay, there we go.
And it's quite long. Let's see. Sphere can hover, but no more than 10 feet above the ground. Must make a strength saving throw. He will auto fail. On fail, they are restrained by the water and is engulfed. Okay. Fails and it lands frozen in speed, blah, blah, blah. You can move the spear in 30 feet in a straight line. Okay. Moves with it. Okay, so yeah, you can engulf them and then pull them towards you effectively, which will douse a lot of the flames that are surrounding them and pull them towards you, and then you can drop them essentially.
It is engulfing them. She's not pulling them towards her, though. She's actually going to keep running and look for more potential targets or people on fire who may still be alive.
Okay. Let's see. And it doesn't
She's
say
like, seriously.
it doesn't say anything about them drowning, so I'm assuming it's an actual circle, like a bubble of water, so it is fine to keep them in it. But since that is a spell, can you I don't believe you can't do 2 concentration spells, correct? But you can do a concentration and a normal,
true.
right?
1 concentration and anything else? Yes? No? You cannot do 2
Yes.
concentrations at once. If you try to do another
So-
one, it will immediately end concentration on the one you're already doing.
So the
Okay.
fog dissipates.
Yeah, so the fog would dissipate. So as you like wrap them in this bubble of water, essentially, the fog around you guys slowly starts dissipating, and it like just kind of like poofs as a cloud, and it immediately gets 10 times brighter. as
this fog is
Huh?
As this fog is going out, Kelmar's going to quickly pull himself up into the tent and quickly return to normal before dispelling the anti-magic fields around his restraints.
Okay, the tent is on fire, just an FYI.
I know, but I need to follow Rue, and she's in there, I believe.
She's
right?
just outside the tent.
Wherever really
Yeah,
the people are.
the dead body she called him over to is just outside of the tent.
Well, I'm gonna do that anyway, just simply so I have cover while I'm shifting back.
There. So
Sounds good.
you run into the burning tent, dispel your stuff, and then pretty much like pop out of it. Considering it was on fire, I will make you take 4 damage. Just a flat 4.
I can take that.
Okay. But yeah, and then you like pop out, and you're like dusting the flames off of yourself. As this dude in front of you is barely conscious. He is barely breathing. You can tell just from looking at him, the fungi is quite literally spreading through his entire body. Is a very unpleasant sight, inside and outside. The only thing keeping him alive is spare the dying.
How to aid him, we need to act quickly then. And he says, lowering himself down.
Mm-hmm.
Would I by chance be able to use Mage Slayer? What's the word I'm looking for here? Tamper with magic to potentially make it easier to cleanse?
That's a good question. I like the idea of that.
Right?
That's a really interesting usage of that, actually. I like that. You have advantage on saving throws against spells, and if you damage a creature, blah, blah. I do like that. You basically just are able to tamper with magic a little bit better. I like that. So yeah, you would be able to tamper with it, yes.
He's just going to hold up one of his fingers, one of his hands, and you see 2 of his fingers just giving off a magical glow, and you can see the mushrooms slowing down in their growth.
Nice. Okay.
Do this together, he says.
And then Rue, you found 2 people so far, which you've spared die on. There doesn't seem to be anyone else. As the fog lifts, all of you guys, just the light of the fire just full flashbangs you, basically. It's a massive amount of light that just entered the area. But looking around, Rue, adjusting to a little bit, you can tell there's probably no one else here. It's gotten a lot quieter too, aside from Cyril basically staring down Sapphire. But aside
I'll probably
from
bring
that,
over
yeah.
the other bodies,
Okay.
not bodies, but the 2 alive that are together, so me and Gelmar can stick by them.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you bring the 2 bodies over to Gelmar. They're both in the same state, basically, of just barely alive. As you do that, Cyril is interacting with Sapphire. And Nia's over here. Dakota. While you see all this, Sapphire just vanishes from in front of you. Ania just runs right past you. That you get flashbanged from the fire. Galmar and Rue are over to your right. Just like basically like piling people next to each other. What are you doing in this moment?
I am going to look for Cyril, and I'm gonna try to look for like opening in order to shoot the spear out of his hands, because I'm getting concerned that like Sapphire's gonna get hurt in whatever this is. So
okay.
I'm trying to see if, because Cyril looks like he's totally out of it to me. So I need to make sure that Cyril isn't going to like actually fight Sapphire right now.
Okay, interesting. So you're basically keeping an eye on him. You pull out your gun and you're keeping that shit like on lock. Like you are staring down his weapon to see where it's going.
I'm gonna put a true strike on.
Smart. Okay. But yeah, you are just staring down his weapons. He has his do you still have your shield in your left hand, or are you switching it entirely?
Oh no, I've got the full glaive going.
All right, cool. So yeah, you see him just holding that sucker. And Cyril, you're standing in front of Sapphire. You have said the words that you said to Sapphire. Sapphire, how are you responding to them?
I'm going to attempt to persuade him to stop.
Okay. What are you saying to him?
I don't know yet. I gotta roll first to even know if I have a chance.
Fair.
That is what I did way back with the bear and the cocoon thing.
Oh God.
Different campaign. Don't worry about it.
Bear and cocoon is a statement that horrifies me to my core.
It actually sounds like a cool magic shop in a town.
Bear in a cocoon.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's horrifying. Okay. 19. Okay. That is a pretty good number. So yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I'm even gonna roll to try and beat that.
Mm-hmm.
Calm down, baby.
Stares up and says, "Calm down, baby."
Shock Cyril into like, what did you say?
The fuck?
I'm older than you, right?
Young lady.
Oh, I love that. Okay. Yeah, so you're standing in front of him. He looks like fucking a demon from hell, practically. In this case, quite literally. He screams out that thing to you. What are you saying to him?
Cyril, you need to stop this. Just because they were helping work on these doesn't mean they were guilty of anything. They just were trying to get money or whatever. They're innocent. They don't need to die.
Is Sapphire saying that in primordial or common?
Primordial. Trying to get closer to his mindset, I guess.
So you're basically hearing the vocalizations of titans filling the air. The fire fills the surroundings, and like the vibrations of their vocals is literally echoing through the ruins. Zero?
Do I see the half elf floating in the sphere of water?
You do not. There's too much fire.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna gesture to the entire camp. It does look aggressive, so if Dakota wants to take a shot at the glaive while I'm gesturing, I wouldn't blame you.
Yeah, sure, I'll take that shot.
All right, roll me your single regular attack with full bonuses.
Yeah. I'm not sharpshootering this. I need that plus something. Right there.
Let me just gamble here real quick.
I think that should do it. I clicked that button. I totally
I have 100% faith in you. You got this.
Oh, I have to freaking check the thing for. There we go. Come on.
Oh, I just need one. Because you're only shooting once. So we'll take that 15.
No, fucking fan the hammer.
No,
Go
what
ahead.
yeah, I was gonna
Oh,
say,
you're
what are you
you're
talking
just
about?
you're
She fanned
firing
that
the
hammer.
entire fucking thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
This is a
So
really hard shot.
I figured you were like gonna aim and shit, but nah, you're so as everyone is like moving around, Ania, you're running from the sphere of water to kind of like get an eye on everything, try and see if there's other people. You just see Dakota pulling up his gun and pointing it directly at Cyril from your vantage point. Huh?
Dude, one of those has to hit.
That 12. From your vantage point, you're literally just seeing Dakota like eagle eyeing just Cyril with the gun up, and he just fans the hammer basically, just absolutely like massacring this hammer, and you see 3 bullets like fire. And considering how loud everything already is, that even the gunshots don't even register as that loud, but you know, one of them just misses completely, like it just whizzes by. The second one slams heartily into Cyril's antler and like knocks his head to the side, and the third one perfectly punches into the top of Cyril's glaive and actually spins it out of his hand and slams it into the ground a good foot or so.
Ania is both impressed and also, I can't do 2 things at once. And it continues to look for people.
Just like, that's cool. Fuck.
That's cool, but it's not gonna help.
All right. Cyril, how you responding to getting shot?
The one hits me in the head. The other one shoots my spear out of my hand, and it's just full guttural rage as he turns in the direction of Dakota and just.
This ain't helping Dakota's paranoia.
No.
Seeing that Cyril has now actually turned aggro on Dakota, Dakota like aggroed him. Nia, the watery sphere is actually gonna like sort of rocket towards where Rue and Gelmar are with this poor confused individual inside. And she's gonna start to turn to head back to where Cyril is.
Okay.
She gave him to us.
Yeah. You guys just see like you're trying to stabilize the guys who are more or less just being invaded by fungi, as like suddenly you just hear like droplets of water like slam past. Like Cyril turns around and like he stares, and like 30 feet behind him, which Sapphire would see, it's just this ball of water flying through the air, and then it just like lands next to you guys, and you just see this dude tumbling out of it.
Is the fungus still an issue, or should I try to dispel magic? Or
the fungi
something?
is more of a painful endeavor in this. The Galmar is making it so it doesn't spread effectively, but it more or less, the way that Cyril's smite works is that he literally infests them with fungi, more or less. And so the parts that have already been infected or such is literally just a colony of fungi, which is just interweaving into their bodies. So it require quite a bit to pretty much like pull out the fungi and, you know, stabilize it and stuff like that. It's more of an actual natural infestation than it is magic. As unbelievably disturbing as that sounds.
Would we be able to do that? Would that be a medicine check or something like that?
Really good.
It would just be a lot of time. So you guys are basically just like sitting over there. You're trying to like, healing potions will start pushing it out of them. You guys got like, pull it out basically. You guys have to reach into the open wound and start like pulling out various mushroom pieces and trying to keep their insides inside while trying to maintain blood loss, stuff like that. So I'll have both of you guys roll a medicine check real quick.
Guidance us.
Could I just give her advantage on it?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say I'm taking the help action for Rue.
Okay.
So Rue can roll twice and keep the better result.
Okay. With your guidance.
While they are rolling, is it possible I can drop the guy off and the sphere starts to rocket towards Dakota instead?
Yes.
Don't
Click
worry.
advantage,
Cool.
Rue.
Rolls? Okay. Oops.
I want to cast sleep
That
on
work?
Cyril.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay. So we'll do a couple order real quick. So Rue, you have you and Gelmar are basically just like sifting through these wounds, like actually pulling out mushrooms colonies and the root systems out of their bodies and making sure their blood is stabilized and make sure they aren't bleeding too heavily and stuff like that. As you both are doing this, which is both time consuming, gross, and very wet, the water ball starts flying towards Cyril. As that happens, I will go with Sapphire real quick. Let me look up the 2024 sleep, because I think that one was better than the other one.
Yes,
It's like a
I did
targeted
hear that about the
around them.
2024 sleep.
Actually,
Yeah.
I think I got a screenshot out of that in one of my other campaigns. Let me go see if I can track that down.
Each creature must that you choose within range must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be incapacitated until its next turn. If you fail a second save, you take the unconscious condition. The spell ends if it takes damage or someone within 5 feet of it takes an action to shake it out. And you don't have immunity to sleep or the exhaustion spell. So, roll me a wisdom saving throw, Cyril. What is Sapphire's DC? Is it 13, Sapphire?
What's her wisdom?
13. Wisdom mod is +1.
Ooh. That might just be 9, actually.
It uses proficiency too, doesn't it?
Oh. If it doesn't, yeah. That would make it 13, but I don't know. Or no, that would make it 12.
Yeah.
It starts
Mine's
at 8.
13.
Okay.
Yeah, it
Must
should
be
be like
something.
8. It should be like an 8 plus proficiency plus your modifier.
Okay. I think
That's
you also
usually,
get
if I
bonus from
remember
something.
correctly.
Oh, you have
that's
Jack of all trades as well, which I think
that's where
increases
that's
it. Yeah. So you have 13. So yeah. So
Yeah.
Cyril, wisdom saving throw DC 13, if you please.
Okay.
Fail, please.
Also, the sphere is going for
Please, I
Dakota,
cannot
not
enter-
for Cyril.
Oh, for Dakota.
Please,
Okay.
Please, I am not in range to enervation breath him.
I just want to check one thing really quick.
No worries.
Athletics, acrobatics, and okay. So I don't have an extra +1, but I do get a +1 just from the aura.
Yeah.
For saves.
Mhm.
So here we go.
I think this is the first time. Oh.
Oh.
I think this is the
didn't
first
even
time
need
I
it.
have seen a
my.
low wisdom versus a low wisdom DC.
I know, right?
It's so cool. Okay, with an 18, I will say you attempt to use your sleep magic, which effectively is while you're saying like calm down, stop, they don't deserve to die. You're quite literally infusing that with your magic. But because of the massive amounts of fire around the area, which is just constant stimuli, the brightness of the area, but also just Cyril's pure agonizing rage, it doesn't seem to have much effect on him. Dakota, you do see a massive ball of water streaming towards you. You would be in a position where you would have seen the elf being both trapped by the water that Nia did, but also dropped off by the water. So you would know this water is from Nia.
Alright. I am going to attempt to dodge it.
All right.
Because you have no idea it's meant to save you.
We will go with because you're not conjuring it, so I would go with a dexterity saving throw for you to
Yeah.
jump out of the
Dakota
way.
still have bonus from enhance ability.
Oh, you do? Yeah.
That's so funny.
What does enhance ability do again?
Gives you
It gives you a +1. Oh no, it gives you advantage on dexterity check.
roll with advantage, baby.
Dexterity save on advantage.
Mhm. Good
Oh,
thing,
it's a
too.
save and not a. Oh, it's a save. It doesn't get
Oh.
advantage on saves.
Oh, well, in that
Shit.
case, go
That's
back to
okay.
normal. Click the normal.
Click normal?
Oh,
I
does
guess?
normal like pick the original one?
Yep.
6.
Yeah. So you stare at this and you go, "I'm a cool guy," and like you try jumping out of the way, but unfortunately, it's a tracking, floating, magical ball of energy. So it just turns.
Curses. Foiled again. Oh.
And it just scoops Dakota up and just keeps moving.
Swoop. Do. All right. So yeah, Cyril, you see as you like turn your head, the magic kind of pushing through you, but not really affecting you all too much. It does. You kind of register a little bit, but you turn and look at Dakota, you do your roar, and then he just gets swooped up by a water ball. Just boop, 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 boop.
And still just fucking raging. Niwaya wem iwikwen. Nipik wanako and kichi siki sikan. Nikiwi. And I know where the live one went, don't I?
You would not know. You don't know there's no live one because he was about 30 feet behind you when you move forwards with the water.
Does he look? Like, if I look around, do I see him looking alive?
Looking around, because obviously, you know, your
No more fog.
air quote
Like
primary target has just been scooped up by water. you look around for a second, you know, and Sapphire like kind of standing next to you, but you like take a quick look. The fire is very heavily obscuring a lot of shit, especially with the smoke since being a little bit high up. But you do see like Gelmar and Rue just like digging through, pulling out your stuffs, and then a guy next to them is just kind of like curled up in fetal position just next to them, just like, oh god, oh god, oh god.
It's okay. Goodness.
So you would see him like just in fetal position next to them essentially. Whether that marks it as a person who is still alive or whether or not it's someone that just finished, that's up to you.
No, I know what it looks like when I've finished a person. I am a
That is
very
the most terrifying statement.
I am a very good
Oh, no.
gardener.
All right, so yeah, you do see the
Yeah,
unfinished individual.
As mad as I am that they're trying to stop me from doing this, my primary target is not any of them because none of them are elves, right? Are the elves that are responsible for this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will say, especially with the...
I turn on my heel and I start stalking over to this guy.
Okay, I will say, especially with the 19 that Sapphire got, that is ringing in your head. Her words are ringing in your head. How effective they are is debatable, but they are kind of ringing through your head. You are, I suppose, more fully conscious of the situation as it is. But you are now just pretty much just ignoring Sapphire behind you as you turn around and you just start walking towards them. Sapphire, what would you like to do?
Would charm person work on this situation?
Let me
I don't have an
actually
immunity
check.
to it.
Let me see.
Does charm person like?
It just
think you'd have to
charms them, but I don't
command
know what that
him.
means per se as far as
It
mindset.
means that I wouldn't find you an enemy. So,
Which
like,
you already don't.
think
So, like,
I think what you're looking for is more calm emotions or something, maybe.
Yeah, so charm person
Yeah.
specifically, they regard you as a friendly acquaintance, and that's about it. There are future ones that pretty much make it so they like, I think it's like become friends or something like that. But yeah, charm person would just make it so he is more likely to treat you as an ally, which he already is since he's not trying to stab you.
yeah.
I will say, with that 19 to persuade me,
Mhm.
as pissed off as I am, as I stalk over to this poor bastard in the fetal position, you can see the wisps at the points of my antlers start to flicker and extinguish one at a time, almost in concert with my steps.
And then I will say, if you want to use it, you also have detect thoughts, as you used on the vampire lord.
Well, Roderick.
Yeah. Or oh yeah, that you used on Roderick. So
you could also just try to sleep magic again.
You could, yeah.
I mean, with my back to you, I'm not conscious of you trying to cast a spell, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my best option would be cast a sleep spell, because detect thoughts is just going to tell me his thoughts, which are pretty self-explanatory at this moment.
Yeah, fair. All right. Well, you are welcome to try using the sleep spell again. If you do, Cyril, feel free to roll me wisdom save again. DC 13. You have a +1, so yeah, it's not impossible roll here.
I have a +3 to my save, actually.
You have a +3. Where's the other 2 coming from?
Probably my proficiency.
Your proficiency is a +3.
I have no idea then, because it just says I have a +3. I must have proficiency in wisdom saving throws then, because I have.
Oh yeah, because it's not counting your charisma's bonus, so you actually have a +4.
Yeah.
Much better roll. All right.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
I am laser focused.
You can feel the sleep magic kind of like spreading out, like you are trying very, very hard to just kind of like compress him essentially, and you can feel it going out, but as it like tries to like basically like press into him and just like make him tired-ish, it just doesn't seem to be doing anything. He is so lasered focused on his objective that he is striving for that it's not processing to him even the concept of going to sleep right now. Gelmar and Rue, you are both seeing Cyril just walking towards you.
Can I add a little something to the description, to your description of what happens when I resisted the sleep spell?
Absolutely.
Because we're all pretty conscious of how our magic feels when it hits, when it doesn't hit.
Yeah.
The resistance that you feel also comes with this opaque image that flashes almost like a subliminal message, but it's enough for you to see it. It's this massive creature that has a face similar to Cyril's, but is much bigger. There are extra sets of eyes. The antlers spread wide like branches on a tree, and the teeth are fangs.
From the ground in front of these people that she had dragged back and been looking over with Gelmar, just Gelmar being someone that she's been very, very grateful for his help right now. Is looking up at Cyril as he's approaching with this really scary, really scary look.
Especially with the flames behind him.
She's just kind of, there's this intimidated look that crosses over her face, but is it also looks a bit hurt, and but also like at her own feelings that she has in this moment towards him. Like she doesn't want to feel intimidated or hurt. Cyril, please stop. Don't come any closer.
There has been too much blood shed in the past couple of days alone.
If you take another step, Cyril, don't do it.
May I ask, is Rue crying?
Good question.
She's not crying, but there is, she is very emotional at this moment. Though she's trying not to be. She's trying to keep herself up.
Okay. So as Rue says that, and Cyril's like probably in the middle of walking, Ania, what are you doing?
The sphere can move 30 feet. I assume the individual Cyril's approaching is more than 30 feet.
Yeah. Essentially, you moved it again, and then you moved it towards Dakota. So it's roughly, because you've been moving Dakota, it's probably about at this point 40 to 50 feet away from you. So it would take you just a bit to be able to move it over to him.
Okay, so it's gonna start heading back with Dakota still inside, so Dakota gets to enjoy a ride. Ania is going to start running over to where Cyril and Sapphire are.
Okay.
I don't think she can reach this turn either, so she's just moving closer.
I'll put that. So yeah, roughly right there. Okay. So
Dakota just looks angry cat the entire time.
just like, All right,
like,
so Cyril, you're seeing, you're supposed hearing Sapphire and Ania behind you. Ania not quite, because a little bit too far. You are seeing Dakota just like kind of whizzing towards you in the little water ball. Just to your right, not quite close enough to you at the moment, but you are seeing Rue and Gelmar, and Rue is just pleading with you at this point. Oops.
Leader, can't we be the heroes? Can't we be good people?
As I get maybe 15 feet away, roughly, the last wisp flickers and just vanishes. That blue radiance goes away, and I stop and I look around at everything. how scared everyone is. And just freeze, breathing hard, trying to hold everything together.
Oh, goodness. She's relieved when she sees him stop.
Mm-hmm.
It's just if his face could twitch right now, it would be.
Okay.
And it's just that like ragged in and out. And it's just
Mm-hmm.
turn towards the entrance and start walking away.
Okay. As you start walking, Dakota's bubble passes rather quick by you. Ania has gotten roughly up to where Sapphire is, assuming Sapphire, have you been moving towards Cyril all, or you just been like standing there watching?
Yeah, I think I'd be moving towards Cyril.
Okay. So you pretty much got more or less to where he was before he just starts walking. He just starts walking away. The two of you are now pretty much with the rest of the crew, as they are desperately attempting to cause these three fellows to just not die where they sit, basically. And they're clearly not conscious, whether that is from the experience or from the sheer quantity of pain. But the folks on the ground are just very clearly not conscious. They're stable, but they are. It's going to be a nightmare and a half for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, Gilmar, his tampering with the magic or with the shrooms was actually faltering for half a second. He actually looked like he was preparing to charge Cyril down himself until he turned around.
Nice. Okay.
He turns back around. We'll just say Rue just turning back towards the people, trying to help again, and her lips just and eyes just like quivering, and there's a bit of a tearness in her eyes, just feeling aggrieved for Cyril. And she understands, and it's not great, but she's just stretching through.
Yeah.
Gilmar finally calming down, looks back around at the situation, then back down towards the individuals, reasserts focus on the spell, but still mutters one last line. I suspect you'll have a lot more to talk about tonight, he says before pulling out his gold rune, and I'm going to try and use my cast of Cure Wounds to aid in the healing process.
Cool. Okay. But yeah, so you start healing some of them, and it's, especially since out of combat, I don't really care. Thematically, it's just like you're starting to, I suppose, patch up a bit of their bodies especially after the you guys have removed most, if not all, of the fungi that has been filling their bodies to whatever degree. Oh yeah, quite a bit. Ania, do you let Dakota have the bubble, or you?
Yeah, Dakota is dropped off by Rue and Gilmar, and she tries to do it somewhat neatly, but she also seems distracted. She's sort of starting to follow behind Cyril and Sapphire, but she keeps looking between them and Rue and Gilmar. It's clear she's not sure which group to go with.
Okay.
Dakota tries to land very cool, like.
Dunk. It's only about a 10-foot drop, so it's not too bad. Not pleasant, but not too bad.
Yeah.
as you pretty much hit the ground, kind of like start dusting yourself off. Your legs kind of slightly are a little bit sore, but you stand up. You see Ania just kind of like looking back and forth. You see Sapphire just kind of like following Cyril. Cyril is getting to the entrance. As I had stated earlier, the entire area is surrounded by massive quantities of flora, and a lot of that is lighting up. So you guys are pretty much surrounded to a degree by a large wall of flame. So most likely it would be running through your head, at least, Dakota, especially considering your experiences with being trapped. Getting out of here would be a very high priority on your list.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'm gonna just like check if there's like anyone that's like still actively dying. Like, is the team all good? Is there anything else I need to do before I just gonna get out of here?
It looks like everyone is, for the most part, fine. The only people left in this ruins are your group and the 4 folks on the ground. They all seem to be not good, but they're all stable. They're not bleeding out anymore. There's one guy who's just curled up in fetal position, and he looks like he's about half a second away from passing out from sheer fear and anxiety. But aside from that, everyone seems to be fine.
Oh, I do have create water today.
Hey.
Hooray! Ania's gonna create water.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 30-foot cube, so it's gonna be centered on sort of the way out.
Okay.
Because she can't get the whole camp, but she's gonna try and put the flames out to give everyone a clear way out.
Smart. Okay. Yeah, that will work perfectly. Mm-hmm.
Okay. If everyone seems relatively good, I think Dakota is just gonna like huff. He's gonna nod solemnly. He's just gonna kind of quietly walk out of here.
Now, I will say, because you were one who shot it would be most prevalent in your mind. Cyril's spear is about 20 feet to your right, buried a foot in the ground.
How heavy is that spear?
Spear have to, you would be able to hold it, just not effectively use it in any regard. And even then, holding it would still be a slight mouse struggle.
Am I strong enough to take it with me as I walk back?
Yeah, you can go and pick it up. It's unwieldy and it looks awkward and it kind of looks like a child holding a cake, but I mean, yeah.
Holding a cake? All right.
I mean, it'd be waving all over the place. It's not stable in any regard in your hands.
All right. I'm just gonna take it with me, and attempt to look cool and brooding as I walk out of here.
You attempt to, but that spear is really hindering your image.
Since Sapphire and Dakota are sort of going in Cyril's direction, Ania will hang back to help with healing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so they seem to be alive. They no longer have the fungi in their bodies. Their wounds are all, for the most part, closed up. They are stable, and moving them would not be particularly difficult. But there is the guy who's just curled up in fetal position, just like clearly traumatized to every degree possible.
I'd like to make a weird roll.
Okay.
I want to do an insight roll to see, like, what kind of people these are. Like, are these just common men? Do they look like noble people? Do they look like stereotypical, oh, this is totally like someone who would totally make and sell drugs? She's just trying to get like a read on what they sort of look like.
Okay. Roll me insight.
Dang.
Not the best. You're having a little bit of difficulty telling, probably because of stress and the walls of fire and the half-deadness. From what you can tell amongst the blood and fear and everything like that. They look, I would say, like a combination between middle class and highborn. They look like they have a decent amount of spending money. Their clothes are not new, but they're not ragged. So they're like, general traveler's clothes. They're in pretty good repair, honestly. They don't look like they have adventure gear on them, or any type of fighting implement on them. So they're probably not people who fight very often. They don't look like common thieves, or anything like that, but they're certainly not nobles.
Okay.
Hopefully that is good.
Yeah. You'll just take a note of that.
Okay. You guys would be able to carry them out if you want to. You would not be opening their wounds if you did so, but they are definitely not in good shape. They will need some kind of severe medical attention.
They are delicate right now.
Yeah, they will absolutely need to go somewhere with severe medical attention very soon.
How many are alive?
4.
4, okay. And there's only 3 of us. Gelmar can carry 2.
Is the medical attention just how many hit points? Or, I mean, sorry, out of the mold. Just how many, or does that have to deal with? Because if I try to do, like, a max roll of healing, would that not help them at all?
As is right now, you would need to spend a lot of time helping them. So the healing, at least in my mind, is you're basically upping their body's natural regenerative abilities. As is right now, they basically need a lot of rest, a lot of fluids back into their bodies, as well as a lot of calories. So their bodies are basically running on gas. And so if you pretty much just like keep trying to pump them full of health potions can help a lot because it restores a lot. But with your pure magic, you're essentially trying to get their bodies to use resources their bodies don't have. So they need something to get them back on their feet.
So in other words, the head owners of this location was probably starving them.
From what it looks like, they were impaled. They were impaled, and their bodies were fighting off a lot of the blood loss, the infection-ish from the mushrooms and stuff like that. They don't look like they were starved, but they definitely don't look like they are doing super good. They probably had a decent rations that they were getting every day, but definitely not enough in the reserve in order to be able to combat something like drastic blood loss.
Knowing that that's kind of what's happening, it's not that she's crying because these people are dying. That is some part of it, but it's mostly just, Cyril and wanting him not to be hurt by killing people and, having that on him because she wants him to be a hero that she thinks that he is. So she's gonna do necrotic magic to get life to put her own hit points in her own, blood to help these people stay alive.
Ooh, I like that. Okay.
And she uses Beacon of Hope, which also gives it full restoration instead.
Ooh.
Well, I actually don't know if I need that. I'm only 2 away from max.
Yeah, you wouldn't need that.
Okay, never mind.
Very nice.
Do I notice or recognize what Rue's doing?
Roll me an Arcana check, actually.
Also, does the 4 people alive include the guy who can just walk out?
Yeah, so though he certainly looks traumatized enough that he is not moving on his own anytime soon.
Yeah.
Terrified to frozen.
Yeah.
He's in shock.
There it is. Yeah. So I will say, so you take 22 damage, and you essentially give it between them. With the 21, 100%. With this being a 3rd level spell, yes. With this being a 3rd level spell, it is on the higher end of magic. As I've said before, 5th level spells are generally speaking the highest that most races can get to, with the exception of elves who can get all the way up to 6th level. That is the highest recorded magic that the world has ever seen. 3rd level is generally speaking high level casters, and usually high level adventurers as well. So it's very, very uncommon to see a 3rd level spell more or less being used. But in the medical field specifically, something like life transference is pretty much a last resort. It hurts the user severely, because essentially you are literally using your own blood and your own mana and your own life force itself in order to give life to something. Is a necrotic spell in the sense that it's defying the natural order. So as you're watching this, and I will say just for flavor, and Rue, you can adjust this if you want to, but as you're using this, the black eyes that Rue has, and her scar on her mouth, you can actually see as she's using this magic, purple, not purple, but like very almost black veins, kind of crawling across her scar up to her eyes as she's using this and like just pulling out her own mana and life. She is injecting this into these guys, and immediately they get a lot more color to their faces. Their bodies are in much better shape than they were previously, and they just have a lot more life to them. But she looks, in comparison, much more injured than they did. She doesn't even look like hardcore injured, but she is definitely worn out at this point. Those black veins surrounding her eyes kind of stay there for a couple minutes, in particularly full force. And she does not look good.
Nia, so Nia this whole time hasn't actually looked scared, more just focused.
Yeah.
And she has a weirdly like stoic expression for most of this. But she is going to talk to Gilmar Rouge and be like, "We need to get out of here. The flame's spreading and this smoke cannot be good for them. Although smoke usually rises, so maybe it's not that bad." And she like goes behind the guy who's kneeling and sort of lowers her voice. "Come on, we have to get out of here or the fire is going to take you."
He's just rocking back and forth, muttering something under his breath at like a mile a minute. Completely, like, you don't even think he's registering the words you're saying to him.
Is Ania still in the form that she took to mimic Cyril?
No, she got. That would be funny though.
Why, hello
she switched
there.
back. Hello there. She switched back so she could put a covering over her mouth to protect from the dust from the tent.
Smart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he doesn't seem to be registering anything you're saying, and he is just rocking back and forth, muttering 1,000 words a minute.
Thank you, Anya.
It's only a dream, it's only a dream, it's only a dream.
Gilmar, could you help me maybe carry?
You almost look like you could use another arm. You almost look like you might need to be carried out if you keep this up as well.
I'm okay. Thank you.
Can I insight that?
Feel free, yeah.
Above game, I know that she's probably got more than enough health to handle that, but...
Ania doesn't bother inciting it.
You know what?
Yeah,
she seems fine to you. Not like physically speaking, she looks damaged, but mentally, she's taking a little bit of a toll. But you know, she says she's all right. Sounds right to you.
He's not in a position to argue.
Yeah.
She just gives him a trying. She tries to smile, but it doesn't.
Gentle
work.
thumbs up. Ah, yeah, you're fine.
I got me the inside of a rock.
How many can you carry? He's reaching down and picking up two of them.
I could carry. Could I carry two?
You have almost as much strength as he does, I believe.
I have
Nia
an 18 in strength.
Yeah, she has
you
a
have an
16,
Whoa.
So she's got a +3. So she's close.
Yeah, so you would be able to carry 2 with minor difficulty, Rue.
Ania gestures. She'll be like, you only need to carry the one who's injured. I'll convince this one to move along somehow.
Thank you, Ania.
You can walk.
All these squares turn into circles. All these circles turn into squares.
Thank you, Ania.
I'm not 100% certain he's in it. Do you think this is
No.
an effect of the powder that Cyril was talking about?
We can discuss that when we are out of the fire.
Fire burns, fire cleanses, fire burns, fire cleanses, fire burns, fire cleanses.
I see your point, he says, lifting up the 2 he's got and starting to carry them towards the entrance.
Yep.
Ania will try to reach down for this gentleman's hand.
He is... You don't think he registers that you exist.
Yeah, and she'll try to like sort of like lead him along, like get him to like zombie walk with her. It's like, come on, we have to go this way now.
Let's see. How well is he following your advice? Not well. You like managed to get him to stand to his feet, and he's like, his eyes are like fluttering everywhere at the same time. It's like, he's like barely following you. It would take a little while to get him out of there.
Okay, while I'm doing this, I would like to cast hold on. Alright, detect poison and disease.
Okay. Oh, it's smart. Let's see. Detect poison. This would be, yeah. So you're detecting a very minor amount of dust on him.
Okay, I cast do I see any in myself?
You have a bit of it on your hand, but it doesn't seem like it's gotten ingested yet.
Okay.
But you do know that it will light on fire in the flames from what you saw with Sapphire.
She's actually not going to cure him of it yet, and she's just gonna like slowly help him out. And she's gonna like, come on, let's go.
It definitely takes definitely takes a few minutes to get him out. The others, you guys have pretty much walked out fairly well. Yeah, it definitely takes you a few minutes. As you guys get out, I'm actually gonna pull you guys to the main map so you guys can just stare at this section for a little while. As you guys pull them all out, Cyril is nowhere to be seen. Same with Sapphire. Sapphire has followed him, but they are nowhere to be seen. Dakota, I'm assuming you're heading back towards the Joe camp?
Yeah.
Okay. The Joe Star camp. I don't call them Joe Stars now, because when I write today Joe, I just think of the birds.
Your next line is...
Huh?
Your next line is...
Yeah. So you're heading back to the Joe Star camp. Gelmar and Rue, you both can make it fairly easily there as well. Ania, because it's taking you a lot longer, the fire is spreading rather quickly around you as well. So is a little bit more treacherous for you, and there's a lot more smoke around you. Roll me a Constitution saving throw real quick.
Okay, if it does start getting too bad, she is going to just cast water again.
Okay.
Oh wait, is that roll?
Oh, that was Gelmar. Ania needs to roll Constitution.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
Ooh.
Oof. You're definitely gonna need that water.
Okay.
Trying to move him is frustrating, considering how much energy you've already used throughout the day, and the shape-shifting to a form you're not used to is taking one hell of a toll on you. So pulling him forwards, it's much slower than you were expecting. The fire is forming around you. You're pretty much just casting water, pulling him through. You do this like 1 or 2 more times, but you eventually get out of the way of where the fire is spreading. And then you hear somewhat behind you the sound of the fire kind of like hitting something. As you like look around, you do see a significant amount of dirt walls, basically, being formed around the fires.
Ooh.
You recognize this because it's something that you've seen a lot of different druids camp do. When a fire spreads too out of control, either because a campfire went out of control or a lightning strike happened or something like that, a bunch of druid colonies will team up together, essentially, usually those in the area, and they will start doing preventive measures. Either they will dig holes with mold earth, they will slam down water, or if the fire is too big to be contained, they will make dirt walls around the entire fire and wait for it to die off. And everything inside that dirt wall dies. So, yeah,
got out there just in time.
Yeah. So essentially you guys are like right in the middle of a forest. So if this thing gets too big, it will burn the entirety of the Elysian Glade. So they are putting some massive walls in there, and you are just outside of where a couple of walls are being put down, but you know better than most that anything in this forest that is being contained will die. Is a last resort kind of measure, because every animal, every creature, every plant, every tree, they all get burned.
So, and he's just gonna be like, okay, we need to go a little bit faster to get out of the fire's radius. Come on.
Yeah, you do make it out of there before the dirt walls form up. So you're finally inside the green area, but the fires are blazing behind you. Is never a sight you like seeing, but you at least you know that to a decent degree that there's nothing in there that will die, probably. Yeah, you finally managed to make your way out. I'm assuming you're heading to the Joestar area too?
She's following wherever Rue and Gelmar went, so if they're going to the Joestar area, she's going there too.
Okay, cool.
I mean, it's either there or the hillside, but I'm pretty sure that area is already coded.
Right.
Pretty much. So you guys start heading to where you guys knew the Joestar area is. While you guys are doing that, we're going to slide to the side real quick. Visual transition. Yay! To Cyril and Sapphire. Cyril, you walked. You walked hard. You walked far. You walked fast. Probably not a substantial distance, but a pretty far distance from the blazing inferno behind you. And Sapphire has kept up with you the entire time. I'm assuming, Sapphire, you're keeping quiet as you're walking behind him, just like, not like actively like stalking him or anything, but like just respectfully keeping quiet.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you know she's there. She just has been following you this entire time. I would say you probably get like 1,000+ feet, like a couple miles probably. You just walk. Everyone else, probably gets to the camp. They're all dealing with the guys on Joestars. You've just been walking. 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles pass. Do you stop at any point? You just keep walking.
I do stop at some point. I just find some tree to sit down, lean against.
You find a fairly nice spot. It's a little tree, probably not more than 20 years old or so. Kind of still on the smaller side of trees, especially in the area you're in, next to like a babbling creek. Very peaceful, very gentle, very, very dissimilar to what you guys just went through. And it looks like a nice, just quiet place. You see a couple of wildlife just kind of running around, and a couple getting drinks and walking away and such.
I don't even pick my head up to look at Sapphire. I'm just too fucking ashamed. You should be with the others. I can't. You. I don't even know what that was. It's only ever happened once before.
You say anything in response, Sapphire?
Yeah, sorry.
You're fine.
Baby just hit her face on the shelf, so.
Oof.
Oh.
That's okay.
I had something on my mind. Darn it.
It's okay. Take your time.
I think right now I need to stay with you. Sounds like you could use some company, even if you don't want it.
It's not even about want at this point. I don't deserve it.
Everyone deserves company.
Not. I gesture to myself. Just the whole body. Not monsters like this.
I don't think you're a monster. I think you just got blindsided by rage and your past. It happens to anybody, really. But that doesn't mean you're a monster. A monster wouldn't feel ashamed afterwards.
That thing back there. Wasn't ashamed. I barely wrestled control back. I remember one of you. I could hear you from somewhere in the back. And I just barely grabbed a hold of that.
That's another good reason why to always have company to help pull you back from your darkest sides of yourself. Your companions, your friends, anyone you know that could help you pull you back from that edge. And you didn't kill anybody, right? Is that right?
That is true.
Well, a few people died.
He didn't
he,
directly
like,
stab
did he
anyone
stab
to
a guy?
death.
I thought he did stab a guy.
He stabbed them, but Rue saved them.
Oh, all of them? I thought
Mhm.
Rue didn't manage to save a couple.
Oh no, you're right. One, 2. No, you're correct. One person died. One person he stabbed died.
Yeah, there was a kill count.
Yeah. There's
Okay,
many
so
that lit
he
on
didn't kill
fire.
everyone.
And just staring at that edge. Six feet away. And after a while, 6 feet doesn't seem so far down.
I want to make a joke, but I feel like that's a bad time.
It's Thank you for throwing that lifeline.
You're welcome. I can't promise I'll be there all the time, but I will try every time that I can.
I'm sorry you had to be there.
Okay.
I'm not supposed to be the one that needs to be helped.
Everyone
It's the
needs
other
help
one.
sometime or another. You can't always be the one to help others, because who's going to be left to help you?
I don't know. Can't imagine how. Can't imagine how frightened they are.
I'm sure they're very frightened, but they'll get over it in time. They just need a little time to digest what just happened.
I made a real mess of things.
That's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. It's what we learn from them that makes the difference.
All right.
We should probably find the others and make sure they're safe and everything.
Yes. Yes, we should. I'll grab my helmet off of wherever I had it tied on my back, and I flip it back over the skull. That's much better, I suppose. Yeah. Look around where we are. I was not paying attention when I walked. I might need to ask you for a little more help. Just one more time today.
No problem. I can track our footsteps back the way we came.
Thank you.
As you're talking with Cyril Sapphire, you hear a voice to the side of you that just kind of goes, "Everyone needs a friend, but you sure about this, bud?" Cyril, you do not hear this voice. Do you respond to the voice, Sapphire?
I reiterate that everyone needs a friend, stressing on the word everyone.
Do you say this out loud?
Yes.
Okay. So Cyril, you just see her just say that out of the blue.
I think I just take it for what it sounds like with that emphasis.
Fair. And Sapphire, you hear in response, well, some fall, some live, some stay, some tells the tale. But who tells your story? It's those closest to you. And you seem to tell his story pretty well. And then you just hear bagpipe noises. As you look around, there's just no one. You just hear bagpipe sounds in your head.
This time I'll ignore it and just start leading Cyril and I back.
No wonder Sapphire's so good at music. There's always an orchestra.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. All right, so it probably takes you. It's a couple miles, so it takes you probably about half an hour or so. So they've been gone for a while. They've been gone for quite some time. But you guys are back at the Joestar camp, talking with all of them. They're kind of treating the injured to a degree, trying to pretty much just like figure out what to do with them. They know the general area, so they also know where to take them. So they just kind of like stock them into their cart and stuff, and they appreciate your guys' help. Is there anything you ask? We're gonna go with the main Joe, John Joestar, I think. John Joe. Is there anything you ask of him?
Ania does, like, she's gonna step like, I know you had originally assigned us this to get some items for yourselves, but the area has now been buried by the forest druids.
That's such a shame. Unfortunately, we all know how, fires can break out. I don't even think I could have made it in there if I tried, so don't you worry. We appreciate the help and the assistance. From the looks of it and the 4 folks that you've gotten already, you seem to have made a difference in somebody's life. So we appreciate the efforts that you have given us, and Well, if we ever need your assistance again, we'll try to get it, hopefully not inside a foresty area, so we can retrieve some loot. But, yeah, I don't know if they had that much to retrieve in the first place, so. But we got the drug off the market, and that's the important part. Well, not off the market, but you know what I mean.
Nia nods. Also, detect poison and disease is a ritual, which means I can keep it casted without using spell slots. Is that right?
Yeah, every 10 minutes you can cast it again. It'll stay for its duration. Another 10 minutes you can cast it again, and so on.
Okay, so Ania's actually kept that up.
Mhm.
Are any of the Joes like ill with anything?
They are not, no. They seem to be,
Cool, okay.
weirdly enough, almost in the peak of health.
That is kind of weird. So Ania's just like looking over everyone, and she's keeping it up until Sapphire and Cyril come back so she can check on them.
Okay.
And she's also since washed her hands, and she has the papers like if she's gotten some free time. She hasn't read the paper yet. She's just sort of like getting the dust off without getting it.
Yeah, it'd be about half an hour or so until they get back from when you guys get to the Joestar camp. So whatever you guys think of in that half an hour time that you would like to do, feel free to do it. You can tell that when you were trying to wash the dust off your hand, it was really difficult. It stuck to your hand almost like glue. It was a weirdly hard to get off substance.
Actually, am I able to get any one of my potion bottles?
Getting it into your potion bottle?
Like when I'm washing my hands, can I get like any of the solution into a potion bottle?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little bit annoying to do so, but you can like funnel in there.
Okay, I'm gonna save that for later.
Okay. Gelmar, Dakota, and Rue in that half an hour time span. Is there anything you'd like to do?
Sapphire still isn't back yet?
Nope, takes about half an hour for them to get back.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go over to Ania and be like, where should I put this spear?
Nia will look at it. It's like, anywhere. I don't think it matters. How much does Cyril like? Does Cyril like? Is this like a beloved weapon that he polishes every day? Or is this like? Okay. Neil, like probably somewhere clean. He does take really good care of it.
And we'll go and see if we can find a clean looking area.
Okay. You are able to find one relatively close.
Okay. Also, are any of the injured, like, other than like slight doses of the moon dust, which she's not trying to cure the small doses, because the less they remember, the better. But she's keeping an eye on if any of them have like a lethal or moderate dose.
It looks like they've all just gotten like minor affections from it. It doesn't look like it's been impacting them greatly.
Okay. She won't bother curing them then.
Cool.
Yeah. Is there like a map anywhere?
The Joes have a few.
All right. Do I remember where the tree is?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's practically ingrained in your skull.
All right.
On the map here, it's the ancient grove.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and like kind of figure out the logistics of like how long it'll take to get there, and trying to figure out what the plans for later.
Okay. While you're doing that, Rue and Gelmar, anything you two like to do in the next half an hour in game?
After loading the last of the unconscious individuals into the cart, Gelmar is going to come back and take a seat next to Rue. Reach over and give herself a couple pats on the back.
She's still over by the people. Have we decided to put them in the carts? So the Joe's okay with that?
Yeah, the Joes are putting them in the carts so they can ferry them essentially to the nearest town. Try to get them some help, essentially. Whatever help that they might need at this point. It's probably just a warm meal.
Standing by them, yeah, she feels the pats and just kind of sighs.
They'll be all right. They will. You saved them.
Oh, I mean, not just me, but thank you, Gilmar.
Oh, it was my pleasure. It was quite the rough ordeal back there.
Yeah. Just seeing Cyril like that. Oh.
I feel bad. I want to talk to him about that. I worry it might be something concerning his health. Or something else of this nature. Whether or not it could be a threat to us, I'm more concerned about what it could do to him further down the line.
I think that too. I just want to make sure that, I guess, like, I want to save these people too, but just make sure that they don't die so that Cyril's still a good hero. Because I know he's a good hero. She's gonna take her little book out. She doesn't know what's really gonna happen because they probably can't come on this cart, right? With I think they're going their separate ways.
Yeah, they're intending on going to a nearby town, which is a little bit out of the way from where you guys are going. At least based on your plan so far.
Okay. She has this little notebook, and she'll her notebook,
and
she'll start writing on it. To like, these are the men. They're in a bit of a bind. They chose a path of life, or they're on this part of their life where maybe they don't have a lot of options and they made some really bad mistakes. And she's kind of addressing this to maybe to them, to also for them to read and kind of think about it. And just like, if you want another option, if you feel like maybe you are stuck where you are, working with where you are, or then go to Harmonious Haven and say that you were saved by this team. And I'm hoping that with our names, maybe you can get a potential job somewhere, to start somewhere new with the right stuff. Maybe not like working as an adventurer, but maybe something small where you can just get out of where you are. And with a lot of hope, a lot of she'll write down for the people, for the guys here who are unconscious, because she's probably made sure that as well, so they're not gonna be an annoyance for the Joes. Just, you are where you are now, and maybe that's not where you want to be, because this life is not going to be good. You're going to meet people who are not going to give you another chance like this. And I hope that you can really appreciate that and want to move forward to a better life. I hope that I don't see you again in this kind of thing, and that that you can just kind of take control of your life and look for the better of it. And she'll put that note with them. Maybe
cool.
stuff it in one of their shirts.
The guy that you stuff in to the shirt of, you do see he has a small scar on his bottom lip. It looks like he got it from a rather young age, but it's a slice essentially from the left corner of his lip all the way down to his chin. There's also one of the more injured fellows. Before you had managed to get to him, he had like a good like portion of his forehead and his left eye were like really badly burned before you got to him. And those are the only two that have like distinguishing marks on them. The other two are they're just average high elves essentially. The all 4 of them high elves, but those are only 2 distinguishing marks. But yeah, you put in the shirt of the guy with the scarred lip. Do you tell the Joes anything about that, or do you just like they'll take care?
I guess more like speaking to Gelmar about it, and it's I hope that they kind of read that and maybe change their ways, and maybe one of the adventuring guilds will also give them a chance or help them find a job somewhere. Do you think that that's kind of stupid, or?
No. Regardless of what happened out there, I don't think it's likely that they'll be able to return to a role like that again. They'll no doubt be looking for somewhere else to set up their roots, to carry on with their lives from there. I think that's likely to be one of their best steps, assuming they can make the trip. It is a fair distance away.
And also, I guess assuming that they have the determination to change their lives, else it's nothing really else you can do.
But we still have that chance, and for most of us, that's all we need. He's just giving her a gentle smile.
She smiles back and then she gives him a little shoulder.
Shazonk.
He has a chuckle at that one. So I realize we probably don't want to think about much beyond the heaviness of the situation, but I have to ask, right up until the moment that situation became dire, how did that event feel?
Well, I mean, how did it feel for you?
Right up until how Cyril started acting odd? Oddly freeing. Can't remember the last time I've had the opportunity to do that.
Oh,
Or, more accurately, do that with as much confidence.
your dragon form was pretty awesome.
Glad you approve, he says with a smile. I'm pretty fond of it as well.
Oh, how are you doing now? Are you in pain from that?
I was able to reverse the transformation fast enough, or before the restraints could reactivate. Aside from a slight twinge and they turn back on, I feel perfectly fine.
Oh, that's good. Oh, glad you're not in pain.
They're quite brutal and they notice as I've stepped out of line. But if they can't tell how that anything's happened, they're about the same as they usually are, thankfully.
I don't know. Going back to it, I'm just looking forward to seeing Cyril again. And us being a good team.
Yes, and we've still much to discuss. I'm really starting to recognize there's really not the we really don't understand enough about each other compared to what we would have liked to assume that we did. I think it's time we have an evening for a true heart-to-heart.
Yeah. It would be nice, brother. She's gonna give another elbow and she moves off.
Takes about another 20-ish minutes or so, but you guys, sitting around talking with each other, probably maybe eating something or another. After about 20 minutes or so, kind of decompressing, you guys hear the telltale sound of twigs cracking and people moving as Sapphire and Gelmar both return back to the camp. The Joes have already started picking up. They want to get the people to a safe place as soon as possible, so they've kind of said their goodbyes to everyone, stated that they will do their best to keep an eye out for the Obsidian Wyverns. They have a lot of contacts in a lot of places, so they'll probably be able to get some kind of information. If there's anything else you guys would like to request that they keep an eye out for, feel free to do so.
So are they going to the capital?
That's a good question.
They're going to a town, right? And then she only kind of wrote the note because she's assuming eventually, like she's just giving them like a little notary to like, if you head to haven. Maybe this letter would help you get a job or something. Yeah.
So from what they've told you, they're going to be heading to a nearby town. It's a very small settlement, but it's a place where you can get a couple of food and bits and pieces. And then I would say, let's see. They're planning to head to the Starshadow Kingdom at some point soon. They have a little bit of a longer trip around because they want to visit a few other places, get a little bit of information that they are requiring. But the Starshadow Kingdom is on their path at some point.
Ania is going to give them a gold piece. And she's going to request them to keep ears out for any rumors about the High Council, and specifically regarding corruption in the High Council. And they don't have to go out of their way for it, just if they hear anything, down the grapevine.
Joe John, I think. Yeah, Joe John, because I find his name funny. He's the main one who's been talking to you guys. He takes the coin from you, he kind of rolls it between his fingers. It's like, corruption of the High Council. That is a very interesting thing to keep rumors about. There have been a few rumors passed around, but none of them of any solidity, mostly just farmers on the wayside making stories up to pass the time. But if we get any of particular importance, we'll be sure to let you know. The High Council is quite secretive, so it would be interesting to, let's say, lay the fields with the birds. So we will get back to you, that is for sure.
And she will thank them.
Dakota and Rue, anything you guys would want them to keep an ear/eye/bird out for?
Gelmar already gave them their request and they agreed.
Nothing else. She doesn't have any money to give.
Well, I don't think Dakota.
And we didn't get any payment, right?
Since you managed to defeat the whole town, I will say, let's see, they wanted to, they took a little bit away from Gelmar's pay, I believe, for the Obsidian Wyvern. So you all get, I will say about eight coins, because you guys did, burn the entire place down, so they didn't get much from this, but you guys did help them, so I would say about 8 gold per person.
That's so generous. We didn't even.
I mean, they did take like 20, no, not 20, like over 12 gold in total from each person for the everything so far. So it's to a degree, it's generous.
Better than nothing.
I'm paying you for a job decently well done.
Wow, a penny? Sign me up. Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting you, Dakota. Did you have Dakota have anything to ask?
I don't think so.
All right, cool. So they will have left, going on their way to a nearby town, which they said was about a day or two away, depending on. So if you guys want to visit that, you're welcome to. But they assumed that you guys had other plans before they had air quote hijacked you for this mission. So they're on their way. As they leave, about 5 or so minutes after they leave, you guys hear Cyril and Sapphire come back, and they kind of make their way into the clearing that you guys have organized. It's about probably about 5 p.m. or so at this point. Y'all spent a long time in that ruins.
Ania does not get up. She just sort of gives a little nod and looks away. She's assuming the rest of the party's going to talk amongst themselves. She's not volunteering to break the ice.
Fair.
Gelmar just gives a above head strong wave with a huge smile on his face.
Oh,
I was muted. I think
Dakota's gonna like see Sapphire and Cyril come back. See, and he's discreetly gonna reach for his setting stone as he looks at Sapphire, and he's gonna like, does he know about the drugs?
Oh, that's right. Does Sapphire look diseased?
Does he know about the drugs? I'm assuming, Ania, you are keeping your magic thing up too?
Yeah, I've kept it up this whole time.
Okay,
She's
cool.
tired.
Yeah, so you will see as Sapphire comes back into the thing. Yeah, no, she took a big ass dose. She took a huge dose of that stuff. And yet, weirdly enough, she looks perfectly fine. From what you can tell, just visually speaking, and from what she looks slightly tired, but y'all just walked a lot and did all that stuff. So tired is within the realms of normality. But yeah, no, she took a huge dose from the looks of it.
All right, Ania will note that for later.
Okay. And Sapphire? Assuming you're back.
What about Rue?
There.
Yeah, any insights?
There's Sapphire.
Hi, Sapphire.
On the
Sapphire.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I was just cleaning up a mess.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah.
Bad Dakota just asked, does he know about the drugs?
And I'm gonna forget that I got dosed and say the drugs in the camp. Of course, he knows about those. Why wouldn't he?
No, the drugs that exploded all over you.
Am I hearing this?
No,
think
Dakota
it's
used a
sending
message
stone.
though.
You're just seeing Dakota staring at Sapphire.
Am I able to message back? Was it 5 messages we can message back to each other?
With the message stone, you guys can just talk to each other intimately in your heads. It's the sending stone that is 25 words.
All right, okay.
Yeah, message is a cantrip.
Okay, I'm gonna say if he does, he hasn't said anything.
Cool. I will say on her body, a lot of the stuff has kind of like either been kind of burned off to a degree or kind of dusted off, but you do still have a minor amount on your clothes and stuff like that.
Oh. Am I near her? Can I? Do I see that?
Yeah. You would be able to see it.
Cyril notice it?
That's a good question. Cyril, would you notice it? Considering
Cyril,
your
Powder on her clothes?
Yeah.
I think even if I noticed it, I would have just kind of chalked it up to, you know, the explosions and stuff.
Mm-hmm. It's also a lot
And
stickier than you recognize dust to be, so like only the color is somewhat similar. So it might you probably could just chalk it up to like, you know, dust, like weird dust to a degree getting onto her from like sand and stuff like that, dirt and stuff.
Well, and also like in my experience, she's not exhibiting any like signs of being in full blown dust addiction. So
yeah, okay. But yeah, you would also notice it, Rue, just like the it's not a significant amount, but it's a pretty decent amount that's covering her.
Do I infer that it's probably that?
Based on what you've seen so far and from a couple of the others, it does look similar to the powder, but it's the fact that it's still on her after this point would be somewhat shocking to you.
I'll shuffle over to Sapphire and like, could I try casting something to try and? I don't know if that'll help with not, your situation. It's okay if I try?
Yeah, go ahead.
Would protection from poison work? I see.
That is a good question. Let me pull that up real quick. Protection.
I think that's like a pre-consuming poison type of spell.
If it is poisoned, you neutralize the poison. If more than one poison affects the target, you neutralize that poison you know is present. Yeah, so feel free. So that will work to a degree. So use that on her, and Ania, you can tell the poison that's in her actively, or the dust, I suppose, does significantly fade. There's still a little bit that lingers over for some reason, but it significantly fades. And Sapphire, the bagpipes, kind of just stop.
Did that work?
Yeah, I don't hear any bagpipes anymore.
Bagpipes?
I'm just imagining Cyril looking at this, just like, what? What does that mean?
You were hearing what?
Oh yeah, I was hearing bagpipes and I kept seeing a kenku. But I've been seeing the kenku since before the drug thing, so I don't know if that was related or not.
Casual.
Can I roll an Arcana check to determine why it wouldn't have completely gotten rid of it?
Yeah, it's a very high DC, but you're welcome to roll it.
No problem.
God
Ooh.
damn.
My perception.
Ooh.
You know, when I say it's a high DC, normally people don't roll high. Fair enough. So you're looking at this, and you pretty much just like you start staring at her. It takes you like a solid couple of minutes to like
Intensely.
kind of like start working things through your head. So for like a couple of minutes, you were just legitimately staring like practically into her soul, which I imagine is just not a pleasant look.
Yeah, not even at her eyes, just like at her.
Yeah, like glossing over her body. It's just like, I'm staring at you. It takes you a solid couple of minutes, but as you're kind of like seeing almost like the mana flowing through her, you're seeing kind of like how things are connecting between each other and how the poison is flowing through her body and stuff like that. And from what you can tell, the reason it didn't seem to work, entirely work, most of it did work, but the parts that are left over, for some reason, the best way I can describe this to you is that everyone, their bodies work based off of a mana channel, basically. Mana flows through every living creature. Some people have better mana reserves than others. Some have lesser. Some just straight up don't, and that's usually fighters and stuff like that. They don't have a mana reserve, but mana flows through every living creature in some way, shape, or form. It's how they're able to conduct magic, how they're able to use it. They basically are taking mana and using their own essence, more or less, to take the mana in the air, condense it, and then morph the two of them into whatever it is that they're trying to make. As you're looking at Sapphire, you've seen this for quite a while now, just being able to look through how mana moves through people, especially with you being a druid. You're able to see the life essence of people a little bit easier than everyone else. You're a little bit more tuned to it. Her life essence has always been different than most other people's. Gelmar is also slightly different, same with Rue, but Sapphire's is notably different. So as you're looking at these mana channels, as you're looking at this basically her life essence and how it's channeling through her body, the weird effect that the dust was giving her, the stuff that essentially Rue was trying to cure, the parts that haven't gone away are quite literally, I suppose, interweaved into her mana pools, into her I suppose mana channels is the word it's supposed to be. And so essentially she took out the poison, like the actual like drug itself. Rue removed the physical evidence of the poison, but that which was left over is more or less added on to what was already there. And from what you can tell, it seems like she already had some of the effect that was already that was being given to her by the drug. The drug was essentially just amping it to a degree, but the parts that Rue wasn't able to remove looks like it was already there somehow.
Okay.
Hopefully that makes some level of sense.
No, I got it. So,
Okay.
so Ania's just staring while you guys talk.
Mhm. Yeah. Does anyone else comment on the apparent bagpipe noises that play in her head?
I didn't hear any bagpipes myself. That's unusual.
Maybe we should take another closer look at you. It's not good.
Toda is just frantically glancing at everybody as he looks a little like stressed, but he is otherwise quiet.
Can I? Oh, can I do a little diagnosis of how Sapphire's doing?
Yeah, roll me a medicine check.
She goes over and she like asks to hold Sapphire's hand, and she'll do like the little Chinese listening to the palm, and so we'll see what happens.
Oof.
I was gonna ask, could I give her advantage on that because I have
yeah, I'll
experience
say you
with
can give her
the drug?
Yeah, I'll
and
say
its
you can give her
effect?
advantage, yeah.
Thank you. Oh, I see. Thank advantage. Okay, let me click that.
Better. Much better.
Oh yeah.
So you like grab her hand, and obviously you're like trying not to get any of this I suppose what's the word, be closer tar than it is dust, slime or something like that, but you're trying to get this stuff to not get onto you essentially, because effectively it's very similar to what's the mixture called when you add cornstarch and water? Oblique?
Slime?
Oh, that stuff.
Yeah.
Oblique?
Oblique,
Yeah,
thank
that's
you.
what it was.
Yeah, it has a similar texture and hand feel to Oblique, so especially trying to like not touch it, like something like gets on you and you kind of like try to wipe it off and it just kind of sticks to you. It's very unpleasant. But you're holding her hand and kind of like trying to gauge how she feels, and Cyril like comes up next to you and he's like kind of looking into her eyes and trying to gauge how she is and stuff like that. And what you can essentially tell looking into Sapphire is that she seems relatively fine. Obviously she's not exactly like everyone else, considering she's touched by the Fae. So it's like every now and again there's like bits and pieces of her that is just kind of odd. Her skin has almost like the stuff that makes the sparkle effect is like bits inside of her skin that will essentially, they're just slightly different than actual skin. And it's hard to see, hard to feel, but you do notice after a certain point. Her eyes have like, I think, minor changes to them. Not super noticeable, not super obvious, but especially if you look into it for long enough, there's minor changes to it. And obviously her hair as well with the flowers and stuff. But aside from that, like, there's just general like Fae stuff that you would have come to expect after the last several months being around her. But aside from that, like, she doesn't seem any different than she realistically has the last couple of days. She seems in full cognitive power. She doesn't seem crazy to the best of your knowledge, and physically speaking, aside from as tired as the rest of you guys are, she seems to be in peak health.
Can I detect poison? Do I know that I didn't get everything? The stuff was still on her.
From what you could feel, because obviously your protection from poison, you would know more or less the poison. From what you can feel, all the physical poison that you generally expect to remove when you use the spell has been removed.
Okay.
So the best of your knowledge, the spell worked exactly as intended.
And then this Oblique stuff is still on her.
Yeah, just on her clothes and stuff like that. seems like a weirder form of the dust, because the dust, especially in the container that Joe showed you, it's actual like powder. It's a dust form. This one looks slimy.
Okay, I think you should get that stuff off you. Change of clothes, and let's probably be very careful about it touching you.
At this point, Nia gets up and walks over and just like without even asking, starts like using like a paper or something to start scraping bits off of Sapphire's clothes into a vial.
Oh. And then I'll try helping Sapphire if she's good with trying to take off some of the outer clothing without the oobleck touching both of us.
Yeah.
I don't know if soap and water will do anything, but I know soap does some stuff. Wise words.
Wise words. Soap does stuff, guys.
Soap does stuff.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you definitely don't hear the bagpipe noises, but especially in the corner of your eye, Sapphire, every now and again, you still see that Kenku. Just kind of like there. He just kind of exists. Either he's sitting on a log, or at the next moment you like turn your head a little bit and he's on the opposite side and he's like in a tree lounging around. Every now and again you also see like he looks slightly different. In some cases he's just a general Kenku. Other cases he's holding a bag that's basically as big as he is. And other times he has scars across his body, which is very odd, and he looks angry and then it like changes again. And this has just been going on the last couple of days, so this is not super, odd to you. But it's a little bit more frequent at the moment than it used to be.
Anybody have any ideas why I'd be seeing a Kenku?
When did you start seeing it?
It's been the last couple days I've been seeing it, but right now it's more frequent.
I don't quite understand how your form of magic works, so I can't say I understand for certain.
Is it like a fey Kenku?
I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know.
Well,
Does he talk? Are you able to talk to him?
He does talk. Sometimes.
Maybe you could ask him?
Why did I not think of that sooner? Probably because I didn't want to seem crazy.
Hi, Mr. Kenku. Everyone looks at you. What the fuck are you talking about?
I think at this point, that would be the least crazy thing that everyone has seen.
Are you alright, Hero?
I'm sorry.
He blinks confusedly.
I lost control back there, and that creature, I am ashamed to say that it is a part of me.
I mean, I thought they were kind of cool.
I guess the cat's out of the bag. What's under this helmet? I was made into this.
Made into... What are you talking about?
By my count, a little over 230 years ago, I was merely a human. We were sent on a mission, one that we never should have accepted if we had had the option not to accept it.
Accepted?
We were There was a time when the order was almost an arm of Haven and the inner circle. We would receive missions, things that the adventuring guilds were too busy to handle, or simply couldn't get done in a timely manner. There was a time when Haven wanted to expand. And it needed more farmland. The elves offered a space in the Elysian Glade. It was our job to clear it out. And to our shame, we did so quite efficiently.
To your shame? Were there people there?
Many. Multiple tribes of wood elves. And those that would not leave peacefully, our orders were well, our orders. There was a place deep in those woods. Trees grew so thick, the sun barely made it all the way to the ground. We nearly ran out of torches. Until we came across the barrow. A massive structure of thorn and vine, thick as tree trunks. We never should have gone in there. But in we did. We woke something up. Something awful. Something old. Older even than possibly the elves themselves. I just remember the screams. When I woke up, I was this... He holds his hands up, this misshapen thing. And every last one of my brothers could hear them. Living mad. Wailing in like animals, but something worse. And I ran. I ran all the way back to the haven. I don't even know how I made it to the inner sanctum without being seen. But I did. And when they convened and saw what I had become, they immediately erupted into a fury and cast me out into the rain. It was I was so close to home. I was too scared to go. So I took a new name. I forget what my old name was. I've been this for so long. The only things I have left from that time are the memories of my wife and son.
What was your name before?
I can't remember. It's been 230 years since I used it. The only name I remember is a last name, because it's carved into their tombstones. By Wolf. all I could do was watch. Watch him grow up. Watch her struggle. And like an asshole, all I could do was scrape together a few coppers and silvers and leave them at her doorstep when she wasn't looking.
Yet you still did what you could to take care of them.
That is the smallest comfort I have.
But it still deserves recognition.
I trained my son, came to the training grounds, excited, green as the fucking grass. And his very first, the very first mission he went on for the Sword Guild. It was supposed to be it was just supposed to be a bunch of goblins or something. When his friends dragged his broken body back into town, it turned out it wasn't there. Poorly constructed information skills and scouting parties missed an entire fucking troll. He lived just long enough to die in my arms. I was 100 feet away from the hospital.
Ania, who for most of this has been gathering samples off of Sapphire's clothes, she's going to walk over to Cyril. And is Cyril standing or sitting?
He's sitting.
Mm-hmm. And Nia goes to sit next to him. And she doesn't like touch him or say anything, but she gets out her scroll case and sort of just holds it out. And dangling from it are two little charms. And one is this little carved book, and the second is the little sun catcher that Cyril got her during the festival.
You can hear him just choking. No. That was one of 2 sun catchers I bought that day. Every year, I go to that festival because it was her favorite time. It was her favorite day of the year. I would buy a sun catcher. And I take it to her grave and I hang it on the tombstone. When the sun hits that thing just right, she still brightens up the place.
Aubrey will. She silently goes over and she'll take another spot right next to him too.
Sapphire will come up behind him and like give him a bear hug from behind.
Aww.
Nia pats his arm.
Dakota is going to hesitantly approach and put a hand on his shoulder. You're a good man, sir.
Gelmar's just going to take a seat directly in front of him. And I'm going to activate Protective Wings to pull everyone into a hug.
Aww.
And Nia like squeaks like, no! She's like dragged in.
Cyril just breaks at that point. Full sobs.
I'm going to whisper her in his ear. Time has not been kind to you, but this is a trail that you need not travel alone.
Thank you. I don't think I've ever told anyone about this.
A small, somber smile is on Gelmar's face. Maybe one day I'll have the confidence to do so as well.
I'm glad you told us. She says she is, be squished and wants to squish. And
Nia's trying to get out of being squished.
I mean, you're free to try an athletics or acrobatics out.
And she's like squirming, like, ah.
Squirm.
I'm glad that you told us, and I'm glad to have you back.
I'm so sorry about this.
I forgive you. I forgive you.
You have no idea what it means to me. I was just taking everything out on those poor bastards.
Well, we saved them, Sarah. Some. She's not gonna say that. one of them did not live, and is trying to comfort. Just save them, and they're okay.
And at that, Nia's actually going to try to get out. Like at first it was just funny haha, but for some reason after Rue says that, Nia's like actually trying to break out of the hug. Do you want me to roll athletics, or is Gelmar going to let her?
I mean, I'm pretty sure those wings can only last a couple seconds anyway, so they probably will
Okay.
be slowly fading away. You'd probably be able to pretty easily slip out now.
Yeah.
India slips out.
And Dakota's just gonna like also slip out, dust off his poncho.
Okay.
I didn't save them, Cyril, because I mean, I partially did want just because I wanted to save them, but I knew that you're good, so I just wanted to help you with that. Just know that I'm still thinking about you the whole time, so that's why it was sad.
I really want to serve all of you.
Well, you're our leader. You can't leave.
I am such an awful leader.
Oh, don't say that. It was by your hands that we've been able to come this far.
I think you give me far more credit than I deserve.
Any less than you always shower us with?
I give credit where it's due. I am an old man, and I am allowed to give as much credit as I believe is due.
That's some good wisdom. You should think. You should think
No.
that.
I'm also allowed to be a hypocrite.
No.
I suppose everyone is to some degree, Gelmar says with a chuckle.
Now, he takes in a deep breath, gathering himself. Now that we are finished with my little sojourn here, we have more pressing matters.
We do. Though I did have a request regarding that. Could I perchance convince everyone to reorganize the order in which we are taking on our next tasks?
And depends where you want to go.
Above game, do I know the tree is an immediate destination at this point?
The what?
The tree.
Do I know the tree is is like one of two immediate destinations at this point?
I don't think Dakota told anyone.
Oh,
Yeah.
crud.
The
Wait.
current knowledge of the full party is that the most pressing bits are obviously.
No, wait, Mia did.
Huh?
I was sorry. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
that's right. Who was it
yeah.
that got the initial message that we needed to check out the...
It was Mia.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mia told everyone.
the full collective party knowledge is that you guys have the Gleaming Meadows is the most pressing, to the best of your knowledge, because it is currently possibly infected by parasites. You guys don't know the extent of it at the moment, as well as the tree is a thing that Dakota was told about a month ago to get to as soon as possible. What the information that Dakota has received recently while you guys were at the thing has not been informed. Same with the information that Gelmar was given by his sister has also not been informed to the party.
Actually, about that.
I think I might have, if I'm able to amend it, I might have mentioned it to Ania, and possibly Cyril over the course of the month.
Okay. Well, you told them about a month ago, but the information that you got from
the most recent.
Yeah, the most recent one, which was a day ago in game, you didn't tell anyone.
But we did.
Life.
Right.
But we did, in-game, discuss that we were planning to go to the Gleaming Meadows and then the Ancient Grove, right?
Yes, yeah, that was the current plan that you guys had been given.
Well, I actually have another reason for wanting to suggest a change to that one, actually, and I will get to that in a moment.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's the information that you guys have been given so far.
All right.
I've been in contact with my sister through the usage of my sending stone. We're not certain what's going on, but it seems something up in the location she's currently being held is changing. I'm not certain what it is, but off of the details I know of these restraints, of the ones that they likely put on her as well, I suspect the situation may become more dire very, very shortly. The Gleaming Meadows is far closer to the Ironspire Peaks, where she's likely being kept. Could I potentially suggest we make our way there second?
Your sister? Oh, goodness.
Ania sort of pinches the bridge of her nose.
If I was you and I heard my family are in trouble, I would drop everything. I'd say, vamos. So I would want to go.
Especially if we can only teleport twice. We'd best to...
Where we end up last is what we need to decide on. Ania will speak up and turn more towards the party. She was like looking away after the hug, but now she's turned back towards them. And she'll continue. Either we end up last near the tree, or we end up last near Glimmering Meadows. And that is the order we need to decide. It is true the Ironspire Peaks are closer to Glimmering Meadows. However, we have, I believe, whichever place we end up in, we're going to end up there for the rest of the month. And we did have a lot of work in Elysian Glade, including the whole Roderick problem and the vampire and she's like getting a little bit frustrated with how much they have to do, and she's like starting to gesture a little bit from like left to right. And she's
I
like,
feel it.
yeah, and the vampire and Roderick possibly blowing things up now that we've solved the Stillmere incident. But I'm not against going the other place first. We just need to decide between those.
I need to head to I gotta head to the tree soon. Dakota looks like he's getting antsy.
There's something wrong?
My patron needs me to head to the tree with the Yuan-Ti summoning something from the shadow. I think I might have mentioned it. I got the assignment when we all had those shared dreams, if you remember that.
Right.
He's been getting antsy about it lately.
That does likely mean it's gotten worse. Nia's like starting to pace now. She's trying to think.
And your patron doesn't exactly strike me as the gentle type.
Not.
No.
No.
I will say this. If we are to go to the Ironspire Peaks, we will need winter clothes. None of us, except for you, Delmar, are prepared to withstand the chill. So
My cloak
either
has so many
way,
holes.
we'll have to stop at Haven just to go to the Ironspire Peaks. Unless you would like to leave 7 popsicle going up the mountain.
I don't think we should go to Haven, but there's likely a town on the way to Ironspire Peaks that has shops specifically selling winter clothes.
Above game, do any of us know about a town near the bottom of the mountains?
Well, if anyone does, its chances are it would be Gelmar. Could I make a check for that, Sim?
Yeah. Roll me a history check for memory.
Darn shame, intelligence is my dump stat.
Yeah,
that checks.
Yeah, the only town that you know that's close to the Ironspire Peaks is called Riverside Haven. It's specifically a town that's in the large, or next to the large, I suppose a lake would be the best name for it. It prioritizes fishing, and it's one of the main fishing areas. Because it's so close to the mountains, it's also the main place that people go to in order to stock up before going someplace like Harmonious or Ironspire. But it's also very close to the Zarg and Marshlands, is like right next to where the Marshlands properly starts. And so a lot of people hesitate to go over there because there is a non-zero chance that goblins will go and invade it. It hasn't for around 60 years now, but it also has a decent military presence, just a little bit ahead of it, full of, weirdly enough, orcs and humans. But so it usually doesn't get invaded, but there is a non-zero chance that it could be. Oftentimes it gets traded with by the dwarves, but it's more just a fishing town than it is anything else. So you're not sure if they would even have war clothes or anything of that sort.
I mean, I'd imagine that would be the primary place people would stop on their way to the peaks, though, so they probably have something.
Mm-hmm.
Or they river across as well.
Yeah, you could take boats all the way to the very base of the mountain.
There might be a way, Gilmar says. May I see the map? He says. He asks.
Enya will take out her scroll case and hand it over to Gilmar.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check what maps we have.
Yeah. You guys would have a
world
one of
the
map.
Entire continent.
Yeah. You guys would have a continental map. It's pretty much just all of this detail, which is not a lot. But it does have Riverside Haven, and then a area that Gilmore does recognize quite heavily is the Frostreach Highlands. It is one of the only major towns in the entirety of Ironspire Peaks. It's buried inside of a large mountain range and is semi-connected to Riverside Haven. Boats do go over there back and forth, but it's a long travel time because it is very dangerous. So not a lot of people tend to go up there without a very specialized guide.
I'm mostly just going to relay the information and suggest that that Riverside Haven would probably be would probably stock some level of winter gear, considering it's one of the most major locations that you could, or it's one of the closest major locations to the mountains that is not in the mountains.
Okay.
That's a good point. And we don't have to go backwards to go forwards.
I bet we could probably also find at least some level of warm pelts. I bet that's working. In between myself and the leather worker, we could probably fashion together some level of very well insulated armors.
We do have some skins left over from Sapphire's hunts.
It's true as well.
That could be perfect. All we need then is an anvil.
I can try. Good.
I think as bad as I feel for those people in Dark Shadow Kingdom, we have 3 places we absolutely need to be. One right after the other.
Mm-hmm.
I may be able to convince Roderick. I believe I have a good shot at it. If I can get this book to him somehow, that should help him deal with the Vampire Lord, maybe. He's pretty competent. Maybe he can just deal with it. I can tell him that we can't return right away. And I can maybe ask him not to blow it up. I think we have a good shot at it.
I believe in you, Anya. You're very smart.
Thank you. And she's like pacing as she's like mulling this over in her head.
Everyone's just like all concerned, but like strength to you, and yeah, you're the only one.
Sapphire, do you still have that green rune of mine? Perhaps it could aid Ania in her thought processes. One of its functions is quicker, or more quickly come up with a story.
Yes, I do. And she hands it to Ania. Or
Ania
offers
will-
it to Ania.
Ania sort of just takes it, but it's like a motion of someone just taking something because they've been offered something. She hasn't even registered what it is. She just takes it.
Yeah. Dakota's just kind of started staring off into the distance as he anxiously fidgets with his gun.
So the way I see it, and I think this all comes with risk, because especially yours, Gilmar, yours is on a time limit that we have no idea. But at the same time, the more immediate threat is Dakota's life, potentially.
Mm.
Or safety at the very least.
I propose we make for the Grove as soon as we can then.
Well, I think Ania has a good point. So on foot, we make our way back to the ruins. We will lose time, but we have a chance at gaining some as well.
Ruins, what? What are we talking about?
Roderick.
No, I can convince Roderick with the stones. Rue, do you have a spell that sends an item? Do we have anything like that?
Ew. I don't think I've ever heard of that before.
I don't believe you guys do. Ania, you would know that Roderick does have, his bandit crew pretty much lining the entirety of this area. So if you do need to get something to him, you're sure he could find you.
Mm-hmm. And you'll be like, I could probably maybe leave this book somewhere. Maybe he can send someone to retrieve it. We don't want to send it to the castle anyway because the vampire lord might just know anything that enters his castle. Previously Roderick's castle, previously also the vampire lord's castle. I think so. I believe we go to Elysian Glade, not to Elysian Glade. We go to the Grove after we solve whatever's going on there. Hopefully, we'll even be able to continue moving. They might try to take us to do some other task. But if we are able to disengage from the Grove, we go to the Glimmering Meadows. And then from there, if we are able to disengage from whatever we fix there, we go to Ironspire Peaks. And her voice is different. It's more like hoity. It's like, it sounds more like someone of hybrid, like elven. It's something more like a little bit like a high elf would sound like.
Like
rather
someone
than her.
in charge.
Yeah, it sounds more like a high elf than a wood elf.
Dakota's just like turning towards you in confusion.
Hello, turn. I recognize a high elf.
And I am totally oblivious. I have no right. I have no right to call anybody out.
You seem like you're doing fine.
That
How long would that take us until we can get to the Iron Spire Peaks if we go from the Grove from the meadows?
Well, we're going to be teleporting, so not time at all. The time depends on how long it takes us to deal with each incident, and if they try to take us to deal with any of the other incidents while we're there, because they're not going to expect us to be able to teleport. So like, oh, while you're here for like a week, and she's like rambling while she's like pacing in full circles now.
She's just watching as you go back and forth, just her eyes and her head turning. And
I think once we are done with the Grove, regardless of what they try to get us to help them with further, we remind them that our contract is not with them. And we teleport away.
Probably be illegal there anyway, so probably getting away is probably for the best interest of ours, because we are not allowed in the Grove.
Yet we still have permission to be there.
Oh, no.
The ancient grove, right? Yeah.
You can now not leave.
Ancient grove with the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'd say that is reasonable. I think leaving the book nearby the incident with the camp so that they can also investigate that would be a good idea.
Oh, that reminds me. The forest druids have already buried the place to the ground, so any campfire we have today should probably be sort of on the lowdown. Or the forest druids are going to be all up in arms. They may try to seek whoever started the fire, so low down.
I think I could survive on simply rations tonight. Those don't require a flame.
I suppose it has been a while since I've broken into the jerky.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it must taste great because I can't remember, so it must be a great experience to have these rations. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Rations,
looks
is that a
forward to
new
rations.
meal?
Looks forward to it every day. Disappointed every day.
Oh,
I love this meal. It's so good. Have you tried it before? I don't know.
I'm sure I have great memories.
All right.
It is soldiers' food. That is for sure.
Well, we're soldiers. This sounds good.
We have a plan.
I'm not a soldier. I'm a scholar. And she's like fretting over there.
Beautiful. All right, so just to double check, your guys' order of operations of which you are planning to do is specifically teleport or attempt to do so, because you guys still don't exactly know how the teleportation rune that you guys were given works. You guys have literally never heard of a spell that powerful before. So in theory, it will work the way you guys want it to. Teleport directly to the ancient grove and try to spend your time trying to get into there. To the best of your ability to hopefully save the elves that are down there, whichever ones are down there, as well as killing all the Yonti you guys can find, before teleporting or attempting to do so down to Gleaming Meadows and doing what you can there before heading over to the Iron Spire Peaks and trying to find Gelmar's sister wherever she may be.
Mm-hmm.
I will, of course, be using the Sending Stone to ask for hints.
Very fair, very fair. All right. So with all that in mind, that is the goal that you guys will be taking. And then also just to give the viewers, the fellows, idea of all the quests that you guys have been on so far is obviously the Gleam Meadows and the Elder Tree, but you guys also have, for whenever you guys wish to do so in the far future, which you guys can do so next month probably, the Sea Breeze town at the base of the Elysian Glade. Some way to deal with the legendary E, the Vampire Lord, as well as finding more information about the Starshadow Kingdom, the Corrupted Council, as well as whatever issues may be arising inside the kingdom itself. None of which you guys are really sure of, and does not seem to have that much of a time limit, so something you guys can get to in the far, far future. But for now, if you guys are interested in seeing the group head on over to the Ancient Grove and trying to find their way through that and hopefully not being dispatched into a massive, organization of enemies, wherever it may be, we will see all of you guys next week, Friday at 6 p.m. PST for the group to be on their next adventure. If you guys are interested in the sister campaign, which is currently inside of Harmonious Haven, they just went through a deep, dark sewers, and they may or may not have just met a necromancer Who knows? If you guys are interested in that content, feel free to pop over tomorrow at 6 p.m. PST as well. In the meantime, we're going to go over to our end screen. We're going to go and raid a fellow whom I just saw and has now disappeared. God damn it.
I see that Lissard is currently streaming.
Yeah, I was going to raid a... Oh, there's a... Well, that's episode 24. Might be a little bit excessive, but we're gonna... You know what? I like their overlay. Oh, no, here it is. Found it. Haha, got it. It's called Wayward Souls, D&D, Queen's Wrath. I'm not sure which edition they're using. I'm assuming 5e, but since it's D&D, it could also potentially be Pathfinder. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm fairly confident it's probably D&D. I don't know anything about them. Their name is Sugar Zeno. So that's an interesting name, but I really enjoy their overlay. It just looks really, really pretty. So if you guys are interested in more D&D content, feel free to pop over with us for this raid. And yeah, it looks kind of cool. They have 6 players as well from the looks of it. And they have an actual VTT, which they are moving around stuff on. So maybe that's the new... what's it called? Beyond VTT? I'm not entirely sure, but it looks really cool.
Shut down.
Did they get fully shut down? Oh, okay. Well,
I don't think it quite has yet, but it definitely is close. It's got like 3 employees left on it.
Oof.
And it is still the worst buggy mess you've ever seen, with subscription fees and microtransactions.
Oh, that's brutal. So I'm very curious on what they're
and
what
almost
they're
no
using.
PCs can actually run it.
Oh, that's brutal. All right, we're gonna see what they're doing, how they're doing their whole setup, and it looks very cool. So if you guys want to pop over, feel free to do so. If not, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen.